Hey everyone, hello, good morning, welcome to Magnolias. We are having a live DIY design day. So excited to join you today. My name is Amy here at Magnolias in Norfolk, Nebraska. Kate's behind the camera.
Hello everyone, how is your Saturday going?
It's going to be a great DIY day. We are starting off strong with patriotic looks today. If you love to make things at home, this is going to be the live for you. We have a marathon 3+ hours of live designing today. You're going to be able to watch me create every kit that we have just released in the online store this week. So new kits, new designs, new season ahead. The patriotic decorating season is what we're planning ahead for, as well as bright and hot summer looks. And that will include porch pot kits and swags, wreaths like this one, all kinds of fun items that you're going to enjoy putting together yourself. Or if you just want the entertainment factor, you can watch. It'll be fun today. That will be fun as well. So jump on, say hello. I'm going to have so many pieces to design for you today that I'm going to have to keep clicking right along. I won't be taking too many questions or comments, but I will be here designing and demonstrating and giving you all the tips and the tricks of the trade. All right, we are ready to roll with some beautiful new items today.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for stopping on and saying hello. We have a lot of kits for you today.
We
sale is 15% off our everyday stems, which is today is the what day? 26th.
Today's the 26th. So everyday stems might include greenery.
Yes.
As well as white floral stems. Some white florals were not part of our spring collection.
All year round.
Correct.
It also includes 15% off vases and planters. So that
So
way you
fun.
can have a beautiful new vessel for your beautiful new kits.
Why not? This is going to include porch pot containers, cool wood boxes, wall hanging baskets, planters of every type, beautiful vases. I've got a couple here behind me, and items that really don't go on sale. You'll be able to catch that sale on Saturday and Sunday, the 26th and 27th. 15% off those items, up to 25% off our spring collection also.
Yes, so 15% off our everyday vases, planters, everyday stems, and everyday ribbon. And then we have added some everyday kit designs as well that are going to be 15% off today.
So those are going to be fun to design with you. Now the fun thing about our kits is that we're going to create them live today. If you place your order, you'll be able to jump back over to this video, which we will have timestamps so that you can find the correct little video segment where your piece was designed, and you'll be able to rewatch the tutorial and put it together on your own.
Absolutely. Shall we get started?
We will.
Jump
Let's
right
get
in.
going.
Thank you everyone for saying hello.
Hi everybody, good morning.
My mic is sitting down here next to me, so hopefully you can hear me now. I had stepped away from it. It's not clipped on. But we are going to go through stuff today. I will take questions if you have them, but I won't take as many comments today just because we have a lot to get through. Unlike normal DIY days, we will not be taking breaks and going live for 6 hours today. We're actually going to do one 3-hour-long segment.
A straight
Hopefully
shot.
Mom's voice holds on strong. And we're going to get through about 20 kits in 3 hours. So
what do you think of that plan?
We're going to go quick, and
it's going to be a crazy schedule.
Yes, that we show all of the fun new things today. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments as we go.
That will work. All right, the first design.
Yeah, let's start with the Old Glory Wreath Kit. This kit is on sale for $86 right now. And it is going to be built on our 24-inch Punch Poppy wreath. This is a beautiful pre-made wreath on a paper-wrapped base, so it's not recommended to get wet. However, you could put it in an outdoor covered space. And this wreath is going to have some wild Queen Anne's lace. We love this stem. It's kind of a nice everyday stem, versatile, outdoor safe. We're going to have the blue budding firecracker salvia bush. This is just a nice, rich blue that's perfect for patriotic designs. And a cream pom-pom mum spray. So very simple. Mom's cut hers up there. An optional add-on is a patriotic bow.
Right.
And we have several different options. I see Kayla's link just drops a link to all patriotic bows and ribbons. So
perfect.
You can either choose one of our pre-tied bows, or you can purchase some of our ribbon bolts at a really great value.
We're going to try these out when we get to that point and see which one you like. Okay, well the first thing we do is cut apart our stems so that we can intersperse them throughout the wreath. We're just going to embellish the wreath in an array around it. So I did pre-cut some of these stems here for you. The single mum spray is going to be cut both from one segment removed over here, so we can have two separate pieces split. And I also cut the length of the stem off. And then the salvia comes in a bush. And when these pieces come together on one bush like so, this paper construction allows you to just rip it apart. You can see the paper will split here, and you can just take it apart. It easily separates into segments. So we're going to use the separated segments, and that means I've got 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 4 segments. And when they get ripped apart, the paper kind of unwraps a little bit. So you can put the 3 blooms together with some optional tape. You might have some floral tape in your stash of DIY items to tidy up the bottom. When you remove them from each other, the tape will unravel. So if it starts to unravel on you, just either dip it in glue or grab your floral tape and hit a little new tape over the end to secure it and make sure it doesn't fall apart on you. So then we've got 1, 2, 3 sections here. I'm just going to see, the paper is starting to unwrap. I can just hit it with a little glue, let that dry for a second, and that will hold the paper from unraveling. We got a couple extra leaves here that can go in. So basically the structure of this wreath allows us to easily tuck some of these stems behind the existing wiring on the wreath. And if you've got a glue pan handy or a glue gun, you could make them more secure, or you can just use wire. So what I mean is this wreath is connected with horizontal bands of wire. And if you look into the center and shape the wreath apart, you'll be able to slip a stem section behind some of that wiring in effort to get it secured in there a little more easily for you. You also want to note that the wreath is going in a clockwise circle, the way the material is sweeping, and you don't want to try to lay your materials the opposite direction. It's pretty important to keep it going in the direction it wants to be winding. So I'm just going to dip my stem in a little bit of glue. I'm going to lay it behind one of those wires. It's kind of stacking behind this section here. These clusters are just wired across the paper wrapped wreath, so you're going to find that the stem ends can slip behind the existing wire pretty easily. And you want to maybe, to get ahead of the game and not come out uneven, eyeball it, lay it out so you can see that you'll have even placement. I'm going to start with the blue because the blue is the most critical for getting it in the right position. There we go. We can do some final shaping at the end, but as I'm slipping these pieces in, I'm just starting to get some arranging going. It does lay in there pretty easily. There's just little gaps that I'm finding for the placement. Tucking them in, that dotted glue is going to ensure it doesn't go anywhere. And now we can run back around with our white mini mums. These are only going to go in 2 areas just for a dot of stronger white. And then we'll also have these sections of Queen Anne's lace that I split in half from the main stem. How was this put together? I think they were both just fanning out from the main stem, so I just cut 2 sections off of the Queen Anne's lace, and this one is split in 2 sections also. So we need them, again, to follow the sweep of our wreath and find a little spot to nestle that in there behind the wire, and we'll tuck it in that way. This is going to be, we're starting out easy today. This is going to be an easier one for you.
And classic. These colors are so pretty and vibrant, and it's nice indoor or outdoor in a covered area. The blue is a perfect, rich, deep blue for patriotic designing, very true toned.
It is kind of hard to find great looking blue flower stems that don't look too
Purple.
Yes.
You don't want them to look too purple.
This is a true royal blue. So hopefully the color's coming out correctly on your phone. You can see that Okay, let's dot in some of this Queen Anne's lace, which I'm going to stagger in between the whites. So the white's ending up here and here. I'm going to go here and here with the Queen Anne's lace. You just eyeball it. You're creating some balance. I don't think it is too tricky to figure out how to get that balanced. And also just worry about maybe arranging at the end so that you get your things in place and then go back in and wiggle the stems around to get them nicely shaped. That glue is going to help us out, secures everything for you. If you do have anything that just is biting, if it's fighting with you, you can add a piece of wire over top of an area. If you feel like it didn't slip in securely or somehow the glue situation isn't holding, overwiring works. And one trick is that, of course, the taped base of this is a green tape wrapped, paper wrapped base. So if I have tape over my wire, using some floral tape to wrap over your wire, you'll get a piece that will hide in your wreath. You won't notice it. You can use unwrapped tape, of course. It'll just be a darker green, but the wrap tape grabs a little bit better and disguises itself in there nicely. Okay, so now you can sort of go back through, get those poppies shaped up, bring some of your greens around. They might have got tucked behind in the process, so you want to lift them up and through. There's many pieces of fern in here, lots of things to shape.
As we say, shape, shape, shape.
And that can be the most important part. Just creating a little movement for every single piece in here will soften up the look. You know, everything comes so stick straight from the manufacturer, and you want to give all the stems a little softness. Curves, bends, anything that takes away from the flatness of the design will improve it for you. And then the other thing too is just step back a little bit. Sometimes when you stay right on top of something, you're looking too close, and with high contrast pieces like red and white, from a distance you're going to want to check and make sure your white is nicely balanced and that you're happy where it's coming out. That will be one color. The white in all this dark is going to draw your eye, so you're going to want to like where you place the white. So step back and check it a little bit, make sure it's doing a good job for you.
And as we go through, I see people are spying some pieces in this kit that they would like to bring home. All of the items used in the kit are linked in the kit description. So the bundle of stems has a list of all the items used with a link to that item. Kayla gets everything prepped for us. So
Handy.
you can click on the wreath kit and find the components that were used in it if you would like to cherry pick which items you're using today.
Why not? There might just be a need for only the wreath, for instance. So I had this extra leaf and I'm trying to slip it behind and add it. It's sort of part of the blue stem and it must have peeled away from the rest, so I'm just tucking it in. Now the thing about adding a bow is it's up to you. The way you see it laying on my table, it's actually become a nice full alternate for a candle ring. Also would be a great tray filler if you had a nice sized round tray. The overall size of this piece is going to be about 23 to 24 inches. The center of the wreath is 10. That's always important to know. And if I lift this up, now you can see how we have managed to get the sweep going around nice and balanced. I can look in the camera and see the white where it's placed. Kind of got a rogue piece of white over here. You can also give it a good spin and figure out where is the gap that I think a bow would benefit. If you're going to hang it up, looks like right over here. It's a little bit emptier. No white in this spot. So our bow options, again, you can jump in the online store. I've got 3 in my hand. Check out all the patriotic bows. We have the American Beauty bow. We have the Land That I Love, a little bit smaller. And we have the Born Free bow. I think we're going to try the Born Free bow. We might have shown it a little differently. Does it matter which one I grab?
It really doesn't. It is photographed online with the American Beauty bow, but any of these are going to be really nice. And also the link in the kit is a link to all patriotic ribbon bolts and bows. So if you want to create your own bow, it is all listed there, and they're all on sale.
And we like doing combo bows for you. We've always been making our bows with more than one ribbon type. I'm just picking a spot, popping it in there, working the ribbon loops into my design a little bit. And let's check it out and see how we like that look. There we go. So it's an easy one to do. It's a good one to start out with, don't you think? I'm trying to make sure I don't intimidate anyone. All of these designs, with a little planning here and practice, you'll be able to put them together yourself. So
that is beautiful.
There we are. Okay.
So that is the Old Glory wreath kit. That one was the sale price of $86 for the kit. You're going to get all the components to recreate this piece at home, and these videos will be on YouTube as well as Facebook replay. So when you get it, you can go back and watch Amy's step-by-step tutorial.
Do you need any photos of this?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. She's going to get some photos as we go.
Oh, wait, no, I don't.
You don't?
Just the flat lays.
Okay,
Yeah.
just the flat lays.
Yep.
Got it. So then we're going to move on. Let's
We're going
see.
to move on. Do we feel like porch pot?
Let's grab that little wood box there.
Okay.
I'm going to set this up behind me. Don't let me forget to design this kit.
And
Also.
I'm also, this one, I'm just going to start and stop for each video.
Got it.
So it should be good.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take a little breather here as she gets set up. Hello, everyone. Thanks for saying hello. Helen said beautifully done. Sharon said pretty. Luann said beautiful.
Morning, everybody.
So pretty, Terry says. Pat said, I like the wreath with just the poppies, but now it's absolutely beautiful.
There we go.
Oh,
You've got
thank you.
little extras. It doesn't take much, does it?
No.
Just little extras to make it look amazing. Okay, we got a flat lay photo.
Yep, we'll get a photo, and then I'll start the... I'm trying today to get a recording of each one so that way I can post individual ones to YouTube. That's going to take me all day.
She's going to be busy, but we do all of this.
I always make more work for myself.
We do all of this just as a benefit so that you have as organized of a process as we can give you so that you can find your video later and create this later when you are back at home with your kit. There we go.
Okay.
So
All right, ready
this
for a flat lay
design, there we
photo?
are.
Okay, let's check it.
Some of these kits are coming when needed with a full block of foam. We always sell a full block, even though in this case we're going to be using part of a block. This is the high quality, super fine, very dense foam that we use, that professionals use. We sell it in our online store for $5 a block. This is something I don't find anywhere in craft shops. I've never seen this brand. I don't know why. It's just a floral brand, florist brand.
Okay, we ready?
We are.
Can you still see yourself in reflection? I kind of moved it.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, starting. Okay, let's do
this
the
design.
Butterfly Garden centerpiece kit. This centerpiece kit is on sale for $56. What a good price point. And it is going to start with our foam block, our high quality floral foam, and a medium-sized natural wood square planter. So it's a wood, kind of dark wash, stained wood planter, no drainage hole. Not that this is outdoor safe, but a blue mini Cosmos spray, a mixed flower and blueberry bundle, the paper patriotic butterfly spray, such a cute stem, a green UV protect coleus bush, and the Greenville curly grass bush. That is such a nice green bush. It kind of has some limier tips, giving it a little bit more of a bright, springy color. And again, this kit is the Butterfly Garden Centerpiece Kit. If you are liking some of the items shown, all of the items are linked in the kit's description, all the components.
You'll be able to find them individually if you'd like. This is how the bush will come to you. I didn't cut any of the stems off shorter than I would have to. I cut them all off right here at the base, ending up with 5 nice sized pieces. This coleus bush, like she said, is outdoor safe if that's of interest. I know that sometimes having that benefit could work great for an addition to your porch pot planters. So this design foam is going to drop in here, and I'm actually going to turn it. I think I'm going to have a little bit better seat for my foam block if instead of laying it this direction, I lay it this direction. So we're cutting just under half of the block, and that's going to be a great fit, full enough for this. We don't need it to go completely side to side. And then I do have my hot melt glue pan off the camera over here trying to melt. Not successfully yet. And this pan glue is a little lower temp than a glue gun. We currently don't sell glue pan supplies, but that is something you can buy in your hobby shops, and it's basically like a mini single hamburger frying pan, but it is a craft pan. The brand I use is called Homecraft. So this this item might be suggested with moss. I am
not.
unsure. Okay, we have moss in the online store.
Do you want me to add moss to it?
If you would, I would use the green moss rather than gray. I think that the green Spanish moss that we offer just keeps it a little bit brighter for the summery looks that we have going on. And that is going to be sold with all of our mosses in individual packs like this. Here is our green Spanish moss. We have gray, of course, and then we also will be using in some of our designs green sheet moss today. So different kinds of moss options for you. It doesn't take very much. We just need a little skim coat over the top here. Then the important piece, without needing to cut much off, this one has been maybe about 2 inches removed of the stem, and it's going to need a hole right through the middle here. I'm going to glue it in for a good and secure placement. I'm also going to press that into the design foam pretty short. I want to get most of those leaves down close to the surface so that I don't have a lanky open look. I want it to start looking nice and full. So my fern leaves are ending up right on top of the surface here. There we have a great in the round, easy to shape, pre-made drop-in piece.
You can also use that individual mixed bush as a drop-in base if you want coordinating and matching items. That's just a really good way to easily get that look spread throughout your house.
And then the second item I need to place is adding the grass bush immediately next to the original mixed bush by placing the two stems side by side and kind of shaping the grass to balance. You're going to have a lot less work because you really don't have to cut the grass bush apart. It's less work if you don't. You just have to press them into the foam right next to each other so that you can create a nice in the round design. Let's check and see how we're doing there. Not too hard, right? So these two pieces we're going to put in last. Let's add our basic greenery. This is going to make it look nice and full. You do not have to dip in glue. I think it's a habit for me to glue stems because we always make things secure for shipping. And I am automatically dipping in glue, but not a necessary step. These little stems have not been shortened. This is the full length, but I am pressing them far enough into the foam that the bottom leaves touch. You want the bottom leaves to touch the foam so that you're sure to fill in your gaps. If those leaves make it all the way to the surface, you won't have to go back in and add any more leaf pieces to disguise open foam. It will do it on its own for you. We have a couple different lengths I can see here. No big deal. I'm going to cut this one shorter so I can get the leaves right down onto the surface here. Easy enough, right? We're working our way up to the harder items, but I don't think anything today is overly difficult. I think they're all in the easier direction for you. Okay, so those are kind of forming a radius, creating nice fullness around the outside. I'm bending some of those stems a little bit just to make sure you don't have super stick straight segments. It's kind of like shaping when you do your hair. You have to give it tease it, give it a little shape, give it a little love when you're designing your hairstyle. Same thing. So now I'm going to drop my cosmos right through the center here. So you do have 3 items kind of lined up vying for the center of the design. And that's going to help us keep everything balanced and in the round. Okay, easy as that. A little blue popping out of there, doesn't hurt anything.
Nice.
And then the last item is your butterfly stem. This one, I did cut just a hair off of it. It is a paper type fabric combo, paper, plastic, fabric, wire, and a very popular item. If you want to buy them individually and grab a few extras, it just makes everything kind of fun and interesting with just a tiny bit of a flag print on a butterfly. Something different. I think you sort of pick the front when you place your butterfly. They want to fly up. You can get them to look a little bit in the round here, but they want to kind of fly up one center segment. There we have it. So take a look. It's not too hard to put that together. Everything's designed in the little wooden box. Get it nice and balanced, and you have a fun centerpiece to keep for yourself or give as a gift.
Awesome. Okay, there's kit number 2.
right.
How are we doing, guys? It got quiet, and I always joke, when the comments get quiet, I can tell they're watching intently.
You're watching intently. Okay, let's keep
Yes,
swapping things out up here.
Do you want to do a step sit? Oh, you're going to do that one?
I'll just
Perfect.
grab this
Okay.
one. So this one comes with a bolt of ribbon, and we're going to need that bolt of ribbon so that we can show how to tie these loops. I just realized.
You know, I'm just double checking this while you get prepped because I wonder if the music that you have playing is going to mess with this.
You can go shut that off.
Yeah, I'm going to. Since we have a little bit of a breather and we're not recording a second video, we're always doing like 10 things at once.
Another camera going.
Okay. Get that ready.
So grab the bolt that looks like
Looks like
this.
it's not going to rain today. That's nice. I think we're going to have some good weather. Pat says so pretty. Beautiful, Pam says. Terry says love this.
Okay.
Good morning, Kathy. Yes, Robin, I can drop a link to all of the everyday
You'll need to run and
stems.
grab the bolt of ribbon for the flat lay if that's important.
Okay. I think it's not. Is it linked as? I'll have
It
to find here.
should be part of the. It's coming with the kit.
Okay, first let me get the kit ready, and then I'll drop you a
Okay.
link, Robin.
Let's get going
Find
on
this
this.
guy. We're gonna have. This is gonna be a long live today.
We're doing it.
Oh, it is. Where is the ribbon?
You're gonna have to go all the way to the room.
Oh man, can you stall?
You can start. You can start me if you don't care about it, the picture, but the
Well, I'm gonna
bolt.
get a flat lay with just what's showing, and that'll be.
Okay.
We can.
I think the
Worry about
moss
the
is
rest.
optional, and the block of foam is included.
Okay, so set that there. I'll get a little snapperoonie. I
Okay.
think I got it. Okay. All
So-
right. Are you ready for the next one?
It is time. We're
Okay.
gonna start this one. This
Here we
one's
go.
called. What is
Well,
this
hold
one
on.
called?
One second. We start this. Okay, this is the Sparkler Outdoor Centerpiece Kit. This kit is on sale for $79, and this got a lot of fun stuff going on. It starts with our floral foam, high quality floral foam,
Right.
and a red Americana planter on a stand. They're like little wood feet that screw onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we are going to use a UV protected springerai fern bush. Very full, the springerai, yep. And the bright spider plant. One of my personal favorites lately. We're going to go in with 2 of the dark blue cornflower sprays. And a vibrant red anemone bundle that Mom's got there. And then an American Beauty ribbon bolts that we're going to tie into bows.
Exactly.
Optional add-on linked in the kit description is some sheet moss,
Okay.
if you would like.
Sheet
to-
moss or green Spanish moss?
She put sheet moss.
Okay.
So, no, it says sheet moss, but it is the Spanish moss.
It should
sorry.
be Spanish
Yep,
moss.
it is Spanish
okay.
moss.
And it should be green Spanish moss.
Yes, it is green Spanish moss. I know, very specific, but gotta have that already. So, Sparkler Outdoor Centerpiece Kit, $79. Let's
So
get
this
into
is
it.
the optional bag of moss that you can click on and add if you should need some. So the full block of foam is going to be almost completely used. We can actually lay it across the top of our pot. You can press your foam to see where the edge goes, and then as the pot tapers a little bit, you could actually get fancy and make a little tapered cut so that it will drop into your planter a little bit better. And that's a pretty good trick to use most of your foam in its entirety right there. not too hard. So if you're running to the back room for me, you're going to grab scissors as well.
Scissors, okay. I'm just trying to get the flat lay uploaded quick.
Okay, so we're going to add some glue to our foam. Although you could see when I put it in the planter, simply wedging it will stay. And it's an outdoor safe item because the planter is metal. Of course, if you were to leave it in the rain, I think that you would have water issues eventually in this pot with the potential of rust. You know, just don't want water standing in it. There we go. So we've got that one secured in there. And then before I put the moss on, I want to make sure I get some of these really chunky stem bushes into the planter first, because this one's a wide, thick stem, and if your moss is in the way, you kind of end up pressing the moss into the hole. So I do sometimes place some of my greenery first and then go back and moss it out for you. Thank you. So here's our 10-yard bolt of the fireworks ribbon, and I will show you how to tie these little easy ribbon loops. Okay, so then we also have another handy trick we're going to need to do. This bunch of springerai is multiple stems dropped into this plastic cap on this bush. When the construction is this way, you can take your pliers, any kind of pliers, you can get a good grip on it, and you can pull each little stem section pretty firmly out of the plastic cap, ending up with longer stem segments. This is a pretty good pro trick. And when you do that, you're going to have a lot longer length versus the little short ones that would happen if you just cut it off and you're literally pulling it out of the cap. So that's one way to ensure that you get longer sections of stems. This one can be pulled apart. It's a huge bush. It is a UV bush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 segments. And then we also cut the raffia bundle apart. These little anemones are a short bundle. I didn't cut them any shorter. I just clipped the stem wrap apart and it separates into multiple pieces. So these little guys just need to radiate around your design, and they have pretty good sized stem diameters also. So before we get that moss on, I'm going to put in the anemones to make sure that those are placed the way I like. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Great. 7 means let's put one up in the center. And let's balance 6 around the outside. We're just not pressing them in too far. We want to let this look very big.
And this design, this kit, is meant to be indoor or outdoor. So we have some UV components, but this could be a fun step sitter or table centerpiece. I think would be really fun. And you could add a little weight to the design with some pea gravel, some rocks. If you wanted to put it outside, just note you want to maybe drill in a few drainage holes into the metal bucket.
Depends what you're putting in there for weight.
Yep.
And the weight would help it sit on your patio table without blowing off. It is pretty light at this point. Now we're going to take our chunk of moss and we're just going to pull it apart, tuck it around here. And also to note, this plant, the spider plant, comes absolutely stick straight, folded up. And you're going to want to get that shaped in a nice curve the way I have already done here for photography purposes. I'm also kind of tucking this around the edges a little bit to make sure it stays put. So as you're shaping the spider plant leaves, it's kind of like when you use your thumb to curl curling ribbon, you need to use your thumb to help curve these leaves by dragging your thumb across them. If you just give it a bend, it's going to look like it got bent, so you definitely want to give it a nice curved shape on many of these pieces just to soften up how it looks.
We do also have this planter in blue, so if you wanted to put it in a blue planter, that is available, and the link to that is in the kit's component description. So once you go to the kit, you'll see it's available in red or blue.
There we go. It's a fun little plant. Just needs to have some curves happening so that it doesn't all spike up like that. All right, then before we add our greens, I'm going to put both of these bachelor buttons in. They are full stems, just cut off. Don't need too much stem length. You can put one on each side, and I'm going to snug the stems right up into the center of the spider plant. Not further out, they're just literally tucked in right next to the plant itself. One on each side. And then you can shape these little stems to sort of fan out and get your color placed where you like it. There we go. Hopefully all these little tips and tricks are going to help you have a successful, easy design when you go to put it together. We'd love to hear how it went for you too. You can always post your design on the Magnolias VIP page and share it with everybody. So these little stem ends are nice and heavy gauge wire. You really don't need to glue anything. I glue automatically because our products are, of course, shipped and handled more than yours will be. So I kind of glue as I go. These are going to be you have several stems to move around your design. So pick where you want to place them, maybe in advance, or just jump in like I'm doing without pre-planning. I'm going to start with 4 in a quadrant here and then fill in. This is going to make it look real full for you.
That spider plant, I think, just brightens the whole thing up. The variegated with the nice bright white stripe down the center of the leaf. It's just so fun in porch pot designs. Anywhere where you can, hanging baskets is a great option for that piece as well. And this is all silk. These are all silk florals. You don't have to water these. You don't have to worry about them this summer. You can just set them out and enjoy their beauty anywhere in the house. We do designs from the front door to the back patio, that's for sure. And everywhere in between.
We do. And it's fun to show you how to do it too. Okay, so there we've used up all of our plant material. And now we can pick any couple of gaps that you might have and go crazy with our ribbon. We're going to make some ribbon loops. Let me show you how to do that.
Do you want me to take that ribbon bolt out of inventory?
Well, I had open, but yeah, now we will.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could look.
That you want to show? Okay. So then this is a 4 loop and 2 tail wired ribbon. And the ribbon obviously has a front and a back. So I'm going to show you how to make these loops and these tails. And then this wire is the wire we sell in bundles. We didn't talk about our wire yet, but the wire is sold in bundles of 5 pieces. It's 22 gauge floral wire, kind of the most universal gauge, weight, thickness of wire that I use, and inexpensive little extra if you don't have a spot to grab and purchase wire, you can purchase from us. So that will give you some wire to design with. And then we're going to create these little loops here. I'm going to make 3 sets. I've got 2 done. I'm going to design another one. Okay.
It's a nice little color filler there.
And you're going to have
patriotic flair.
You're going to have a full 10-yard bolt to play with here. So you won't need all the ribbon in your design, but you can sure help coordinate other things in your decorating as you go around the house and find another spot that might need a bow to coordinate. Let's get that tied. So we are basically starting with a tail. This is the easy way to tie a little multi-loop bow. We're starting with the tail of whatever length you like. That's going to be the piece I leave out. Then we're forming our first loop. And we have our ribbon, if you can tell, we have the back side face up. The whole trick to this bow tying is to give the ribbon a half turn flip. And by bringing your ribbon face up, you're set to make your next loop. So I usually graduate my loops, the first 2 being the same length. We make a half turn flip and we start holding those twists right here between our thumb and index finger. And now we're stacking up our second loop set, or I'm sorry, our third loop set, and then number 4. And we finally end up with a second tail. So you'll have 2 tails, 4 loops, and you'll use about 1.5 yards doing that. Then you're going to use your wire to go through that. You're going to wire, of course, right through the center where you've been pinching your twists in that stack. And if you want to double up your wire by cutting off a chunk and then adding it back in, you'll make your wire a little heavier gauge. So you'll have actually 4 pieces stacked together instead of just 2. And when you use your pliers and twist that down, that's going to make a sturdier self-pick for your ribbon to go in. And I'm going to trim it to the same length. That way you have a nice little floral pick end. 4 loops, 2 tails. We can put them in 3 areas around the little pot for balance, and you can put 4 in if you wanted to.
And with this kit, you're getting the whole bolt of ribbon, so you can also make more of these little bows for other planters around your house, for your garlands, maybe for a wreath. You can make these simple bows and get the most out of your ribbon bolt.
Might as well.
Good morning, Elaine. We have a question from Elaine. She said, could you use the springerai stem and the spider plant in a real flower planter?
Why not? Who would know unless they went and touched it?
Know.
Nobody's going to know, and we're not going to tell if you want to do that. All right, so here we have the finished design. And that kit, by the way, I don't know if you're giving the prices as we go along.
Yeah, I'm just giving the totals there. And all of the components are linked in the kit description. So again, that was the Sparkler Outdoor Centerpiece Kit on sale for $79.
Okay.
All right,
How
we'll
fun.
take a little moment here to get reset for the next beautiful design. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
I am doing videos of each kit as we go, so that's why I'm just doing...
That's why you're doing that?
Yeah,
Maybe I don't have room for all these.
Quiet in the middle there. But that way, you guys can have really good tutorials to look back on. So that is the goal today. Rosalie loves the centerpiece. Michelle loves the bows. She got 5 delivered yesterday. Wow.
You're rolling.
Fun.
You're rolling.
And Elaine, that question was such a good question because a lot of the time people think it's all or nothing, and I see no reason why you can't mix real and silk, especially when you have beautiful spring flowers that bloom early in the season and then they're not blooming anymore. You can add some evergreen, like our geranium bushes, just something to extend the life of your planters. Or when the summer heat hits and it all dies.
That's kind of
That's
what happens
at my house.
That's what happens around here.
Unfortunate truth.
There we
Can
go.
just the flowers and greenery be bought? Yes, Amelia. Everything that is used, all the components, are linked in the description of the kit. So once you click on the link that I'm dropping to the kits, it lists and links every item used. Kayla gets it all set up so that way you can shop each individual item.
That'll work.
Okay, you got your water, you got your counter all clean. Do you need some tea?
We're good.
Okay, let's find this next kit here first. And man, it's beautiful. Now the sun's coming out here. Is this the Washington? This is, okay.
Yes, the Washington
All
porch
right,
pot kit.
first let me get a flat lay before I start the video.
Okay.
The best of my ability there. Got it. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's start the video for the replay tutorial. Okay, this is the Washington porch pot. This kit is on sale for $104, and we've done something different with our porch pot kits. We have made the foam and the planters separate.
Optional.
Separate add-ons because a lot of you are putting the stems directly in your dirt at home.
So this is the option.
That is the optional 2 blocks of floral foam and our white round flower pot. These are separate, but you can easily see the links in the kit description.
You might want to
click on those to throw them in cart. Yeah, should I throw another one without the? There you go. Got it. Okay, thanks. That way you can see that. Okay, let's go into the stem components here. We have the large UV protected red geranium bush. This is a bestseller. It's a velvety finish, UV coated, so it's going to last against the sun better than all other stems. We have the blue cornflower bush, a classic favorite for patriotic designs. We have 2 of the Treasure Diantha sprays. Beautiful, bright white color. We have a UV protected Real Touch phyllo bush. This one's got some beautiful line variegation, very bright, colorful, very realistic looking. And the Pacific Grove zebra grass bush. Isn't that cool? Very bright and fun. And then we have, that one was actually not in that kit. That's with the next kit. I think your stem got mixed up. There you go. Beautiful. And then optional add-on, again, are the 2 floral foam blocks, the white round planter, the Born Free bow, or the American mini flag. So if you're just putting these in your dirt at home in like a pot with dirt, then you're all set to go. You don't need anything else. But if you want the planter and the foam, you'll want to add those to your cart. All right.
Born Free bow will maybe be on the wreath that I handed you earlier.
I can check here.
The step first would be, if you know your planter, if you purchase the planter and your planter is going to be needing to be weighted, you want to think about how to weight it with some gravel, pea gravel, or sand. If you're not putting sand or gravel in it and you're going to simply use it as a liner pot, you could also easily drill some holes in here. It's thinner plastic, it would be quick. The other thing I did was took the 2 blocks of foam that are optional and suggested, and they are glued together. Here you can see where I glued these 2 blocks together. And once you get those together and solid, we can get some more nice heavy chunk of glue for the bottom and get this glued right to the bottom of our planter. Looks like the corners are going to hit the planter. I need to glue the corners. And those contact points, you just want to make sure you get nice amounts of glue so it doesn't fall out and be jarred out with the heat. Sometimes it can loosen the glue bonds. This is outdoor safe pan glue that has a pretty good bond. And you can see I've only recommended 2 blocks of foam, but if you're worried about how well the foam is going to hold up in there without breaking apart, you can always go back in with some extra pieces if you have them, and you can add a little bit on each side, just a couple of support pieces. They don't have to reach the bottom. We can just slip them down next to, because we're not really going to insert product into them. They're just there to support the center, and they don't reach the bottom. They're wedging and keeping those blocks from tweaking and popping out for you there. Okay, so we've got our glue in there. Next we're going to outline our design. Let's use one of the bigger items first. This phyllo plant really needs a lot of shaping. So when this one comes out of the package, it's going to be stacked tightly together, all in one pile, probably even wired shut. So you want to cut that wire, pull each section open, and then also soften the shape of each tendril, giving it some curves because it's just going to be so stick straight. So don't forget to give it lots of love and move it around a little bit, shape it up. This one's going to trail and sort of sit in the front 2/3 of the pot. Let me hold it up and show you. And give us a nice start to our design. Let me get the spinner. There we go.
Always forgetting your little DJ turntable.
There we go. So we need to get that plant. It's almost placed directly in the center of our foam. That would be a good way to describe where I've put that. And then the next item to stack in here is going to be our geranium. And the geranium is coming like this shape right away. You don't have to do too much shaping to the geraniums. They are already kind of pre-shaped. I'm placing this one directly behind the phyllo bush. And then I have to just decide which way do I want to shape it. So I'm kind of working with you, seeing the front here. I'm going to have to spin it around and take a quick look-see. Do I want it to drape down? Do I want it to stand up? There's heavy gauge wire, so it will go where you place it.
Dawn, yes, that phyllo bush is very, very large, and the geranium is the biggest that we can bring in. So 2 very large components to make this a very simple kit that you can create at home.
And we're going to add in our bachelor button, the entire bush. Cornflower,
Yep.
okay, also known as bachelor button.
Yes.
Depending, but
if
in
you're
our...
looking for it online, though, it is called the cornflower bush.
Something to keep in mind, we don't name these stems.
No, we don't.
The vendors name them, and we go with the way the tag is written.
Yep. That way you can find it online easily.
So occasionally people say, I don't think that's what that's called. And I think, well, we should tell the vendor. Okay, I've got the cornflower kind of offset. Mixing it in a little bit here with the geranium.
That's another one of those nice true blue kind of colors, which is why we've carried it for several years.
And it has spiky grass as part of that cornflower bush, so I'm going to add the other spiky grass on the other side, not trying to blend them together. We're going to give it its own side over here. And you can see how fun that pulls the color of the phyllo bush right up into the design. Super showy. You can take some of those pieces and move them around. The bush is wired so that you can move the sections a little bit, but each blade does not have wire in it, just the base. So you're going to be able to shape it to a point. I'm kind of just wiggling it around
kind
to
of
get
fanning it out.
Yes, getting it fanned out. That would be the right word.
And the bright green in that grass bush too is perfect for the phyllo bush because of that lime colored variegation in it. Just brightens it up, and that phyllo bush looks so real. And it's UV coated, so it's going to really help resist sun fading that happens to silk florals.
There we go. And then we're going to add our 2 white stems. So I need to eyeball this quick and see. I'm going to probably cut one shorter than the other. So we're going to let one stand up almost in the middle. Something to keep in mind is that from a distance, you're going to have to like where this white ends up because it's going to be the thing that really draws your eye. So I am cutting about 4 inches off of the second stem so that I can place it lower in the front here, but I'm still keeping in mind where I would like my bow to go. So that is one thing that I'll need to leave a spot for. Okay, I'm going to like the look of it sort of flipping forward a little bit. And then your bow choice, she might have linked one of the bows specifically.
Yeah, this one is the one she
That's
listed.
the one she listed. Yep. Okay. So other options would include the smaller white and blue, heavier on the white and blue.
Ooh, love the blue.
A large, heavier on the red item.
Love the size.
I like how that brings the red to the center. And then this one bringing in more heavy on the white. How do we like that one?
That.
Right, there we go.
It's a big design.
It's a big decision.
Stunning. That is cool. And then the little flag is so
And then
cute.
the little flag also has a good place in front of the bright green.
And that's also a UV resistant fabric in that flag pick.
And these flags, also to note, can be used as memorial items if you want to use those for cemetery designing.
They are less than $10 too.
So it's a very fun combination. You can take your pick from whatever accent ribbon you want to place with that. And I'm going to just leave that little flag in there.
Fun. So that is the Washington Porch Pot Kit. And just remember, the actual container and the foam is sold separately. So that way, if you are just putting it into a pot of dirt at home, you don't have to find all the components. So if you want to create it as Amy has shown it here with foam and a pot, just add those to your cart with the kit.
There we go.
Fun, beautiful.
Okay, well that
All
makes
right,
it
a little
easy.
breather here. Can I get you any tea, water? How are you doing?
I'm good. Do I
You're
have
good?
waitress service? I have my
Yeah.
water right over here.
Put this, so that way we can enjoy the view.
Okay,
Put it right here.
good idea.
That is such a pretty container. I had to get the You're a Firework porch pot step center. Oh my gosh, so cute. So I'm all in. I have no idea where I'm going to put it, but I know I'm going to need it.
Other fun things to note, we did not create a drop-in look today per se. We do have several pre-made drop-ins that I just was going to point out
They're
quick.
stems.
They're stems that are pre-made bundles. This is the mini garden blossom bundle. It has a combination of fabric and paper stems in there. And this one is foam, berries, and fabric. That design, I don't know the title of that one. It has the one with the little mini daisies on it.
I'm just dropping a link to Patriotic Stems.
All of these items are going to be 15% off.
Yep.
So if you want to combo them up with your choice of greenery. And this is one we used earlier.
Yeah. Rosalie said, love all the bows. Just got a couple in the order I placed a few minutes ago. Score. Jane said she received her terracotta bowl and pot with saucer yesterday. The box was packed so well. Everything was wrapped individually, plus loaded with styrofoam. Great job and thank you. I'm so glad to hear it. UPS has been drop kicking our packages, I'm pretty sure. So we've been trying
our team is very
over-engineer the packing.
This is just a combination of drop-in stems.
Cute.
Our team is really very good at shipping, and I believe you're going to be happy with the results when you get your order placed.
Terry loved the porch pot. So bright and colorful, she says. It really is such a fun design.
Well, good. Let's make another one.
Yeah, we're going to get on to the next one here. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to be live for a few hours today. It is 10 o'clock, FYI, Mom.
Okay.
How many have we gotten done? 1, 2, 3, 4.
She's going to count.
Have we only done 4 so far? Whoa.
Okay.
We'll hopefully get through all 20 kits today. If we don't, we'll show some on Monday.
We'll do our
all
best.
of these kits are available online. I'm dropping a link. And let me know any questions you have in the comments while we're live today. I'm happy to answer those. I'm going to be uploading the videos after on YouTube and linking them, so that way you'll be able to, once you receive your kit, go back and watch Amy's step-by-step tutorial to make your life easier. Photo, yep. It's kind of like paint by numbers for floral design is the way I like to describe it.
That's how you describe it.
Okay, yeah, that's where that stem goes.
Okay.
All right, snapping a quick photo.
Oops, I think we forgot this guy.
Oh. There, okay. That way you guys can see the layout. Okay, are we ready for our next design? Let me hit go on this. Okay, this is the American Sweetheart Step Sitter Kit. This kit is on sale for $116 today, and this one has the planter separate from the kit, so this kit is meant to go right in a pot of dirt, but we're going to show you how to put it in a foam planter. It goes with the UV protected mixed fern bush, classic bush we carry for many years. It's great shape and size. We also have the Wild Queen Anne's lace spray, a favorite. We have a Real Touch red geranium, nice wired stem. We have an Athens pothos bush, beautiful variegation, very realistic looking. We have the Concord unanimous leaf spray. There you go. Cool variegation on that. A dark blue cornflower spray ×2. The red, white, and blue ball pick in the shiny coating. And the Captured in Time foliage stem. So these are all the components used in this kit for the price of $116. Some optional add-on if you want to make this in a standalone pot. We have linked the floral foam block, high quality floral foam, and the gray round flower pot, simple plastic planter, and a patriotic bow as an optional add-on. So whether you want to make this in a foamed out planter or in a pot of dirt at home, either way, up to you. And all the components used are linked in the kit description.
This planter actually does have drainage holes in it, so it's good as a liner pot if you want to drop it into another planter. We need just about a full block of foam. Here I've cut all but about 1.5 inches off of the foam, and when we turn that on its side and drop it in there, you can glue that down if you want to ensure it's going to stay. Also to note, we call it a step sitter because the smaller size of this planter allows it to be small enough to sit on a stair step. That's kind of an indicator of a smaller size versus a large planter like a 10-inch pot. So that's a couple of our design differences there. Also, just like another porch pot I designed earlier, this foam block could be at risk of moving around, breaking left and right. If you were having a hard time keeping it stabilized, you can take a little extra foam and do a couple of wedges on the side. So you would have maybe one piece ready to go from the segment that you cut off, and if you had another handy, you could get a couple of those smaller little pieces. They don't have to reach the bottom and they don't have to fill your pot side to side, but if you're able to wedge them, it does stabilize the center foam, which is what we're going for here. We're also going to place in this planter our larger bushes first. This is going to be quite full, and if you are using these plants in a pot of real dirt, you're literally going to just stick them right in to the dirt itself, and you always want to get them pressed in pretty well. Get them seated all the way down onto the dirt so that the wind doesn't catch them, and that's your best bet to have them be secure outside. The other thing that happens is when you place your plants that have shorter stems in your pot, and then you overlay your longer stemmed items, you're actually pinning down and through your plants. So in your pot of dirt, that's a benefit, that these longer stems will go through your shorter stem plants to help sort of secure them in place. The fern and the pothos both need some shaping. You need to get those leaves to have some curves to them. They're going to come really straight and flat in the package, and everything always looks more natural if you give them some curves. Separate all of the pothos stems out and then help it drape by dropping down here a little bit. You're going to want to bend it over the edge of the pot so it doesn't stick out unnaturally. You want it to look like it was growing. If it was growing, he would drop down over the edge of the pot, and he might even kick up a little bit at the bottom. So think about that as you're shaping, and that will get you a more natural result. This plant looks very realistic at a glance. So that nearly covers all of the real estate in this little 6 by 7 inch planter. You would be able to use all these components in maybe a planter that has up to a 10-inch diameter, and if it starts looking a little skimpy, you might need extra plants, but you'll have a good color combo going on. Now I'm going to outline my height and place both of the stems that are tall, and they're going in the back third of the planter. I'm gluing them in so that the wind doesn't twist them out. If you were putting them in your pot of dirt, you wouldn't have cut it off short. You would leave it as long as you could to insert as much of it into the dirt as possible. The further you get it down in the dirt, the more stable it will be. And if you're worried about the wind catching them, you can always sort of add a stick or a dowel to the back of your design too. Wire it to something sturdy to give it more support if you're concerned about the wind bending them over. So a couple little tips to share also. Our red is so beautiful. This one has lots of ways you can shape it. If you're designing a planter and you need some draping length, this is a great piece to use trailing out of a planter also.
And I would highly recommend also a few of those if you want more red. You can have 2 coming up tall in your beautiful planter, and then 1 draping down the front would be just really, really nice and showy.
The vines are an alternate to the plants and bushes of geraniums. Sometimes you just need a little touch of color and not a whole bush of the color. So this is just a smaller, less product version of our big geranium bushes, and they are only available as a vine in the red color. Okay, so we've got a little mixing going on here. That's coming out to be a good start. Let's put in our white towards the front as well.
That Queen Anne's lace, we use that in a lot of designs. It's outdoor safe. It adds nice airy white color to it, softens the design a little bit, makes it look really natural.
There we are. That helps me out.
I like how you remove the turntable and then you're always bringing it back.
I'm trying to get it out of your photo, but then I
Oh,
forget.
I see what you're doing.
I'm taking it out of
I
your
was going to
photo.
say, you could just leave it in there. I think it's okay, Mom.
The photo. Okay, that's just needing our blue and our pick, and then I don't know where the bow is suggested, because this one
suggested.
could also benefit from any bow. I just like the fact for patriotic designing that you can add a little bit of a flag print with your ribbon. It definitely gives it that seasonal touch, but you know, something removable. So if you want to augment this and maybe remove your blue and just go with red, white later after July 4th. You could maybe just intersperse some yellow or some other purples or something less patriotic later and change things up a little bit. That does not hurt. Okay, so we've used these 2 cornflower bachelor button items to fan out to the sides, giving us our fun blue color. And I think I just need to place our ball spray right in the center. They're wired little picks here on a stem, and that's the full stem length. I didn't cut this one off at all. We'll just use it all together in the center there. And it does, to me, look like the bow would be a great addition. Again, I've got the 3 bow styles out in front of me. You can take your pick and see what you think. All of the patriotic bows are going to be 15% off. If you want to make your own style of bow, we have way more ribbon than the bows we've tied. We just haven't made that many styles yet. Land That I Love in blue would be a great choice in here. I kind of like how it balances the blue out. That's the smaller bow choice. This again was your Born Free bow, which has the combination and a bright white accent going on. And then you're heavy on the red with the star ribbon. That one is called the American Beauty bow. And
Fun.
there you have it. See what you think.
Beautiful. Okay.
Which one works the best for you? So
All
again,
right.
that is the Step Sitter kit.
I did have a question here from Dana. She's wondering about some yellows instead of blue if you wanted to make it less patriotic. I always like a forsythia.
Yes, and we'll be using the forsythia coming up shortly.
Yes.
It's a bright lemon yellow, so it'd be a great accent.
There's a really nice kind of a soft yellow to pink dahlia that I love. That's great. Sharon had a good question. Do the geranium reds match each other? So this one is kind of a unique standout, this single stem. It's a deep red.
It's a little bit darker.
Yeah.
And I don't have, oh, here, I do have one beside me. There you can see the color combo. Can you tell the difference? A little deeper red on the vine. And I would say that the other red geranium that we have, same thing, just a little different, but they could be put together because I think at a glance, it's not something that you would really key in on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Good to go.
That one.
Question: do you have a specific order you're wanting to go?
After we do patriotic, I'll do this. That's fine, and then we'll just go down the list of the backlog.
Yep, that sounds good. We have a lot of kits today, so
Gonna keep rolling.
we're gonna keep going on it.
Which bow
Oh
is
yes,
suggested?
Kim. She said, "Don't forget the lights." Absolutely, you can definitely do.
Oh, put some lights
Oh,
in
I
there.
didn't even see that swag. Okay, let me find the link to the swag.
Okay.
We do have great indoor-outdoor lights. The bow is the Uncle Sam. The red star is the optional.
We don't have a bow called Uncle Sam in front of me.
That's the Uncle Sam.
This is American Beauty.
Oh. Oh, the kit is called Uncle Sam.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's good to know. Okay.
Goodness. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're doing a live design marathon today. We're going to be designing until about lunchtime. So hopefully Mom can hang in there and don't lose your voice. You're going to need the day tomorrow.
Fine. We're doing great.
So we're doing patriotic, then we're going to transition. We're going to do a saddle design, then we're going to be going on to some succulent planters, hanging baskets, some bright, colorful, fun things. And all of these kits are available online. Let me know any questions you have in the comments.
Okay.
I'm taking videos of each of these kits.
And you're doing a flat lay with the bow or without the bow?
Without the bow. I'm taking a video of each tutorial to post on YouTube and link later. So when you buy the kit and you take it home and you want to watch Amy's step-by-step process later, it'll be available. So that way you can easily see it. All right, ready for the next one?
I am.
All right, this is the Uncle Sam swag kit. Now this can be a teardrop shape or you could do more of a tray shape.
You could.
This kit is on sale for $31, so great price point. It is going to include the Poppy, Salvia, and Daisy pick. Beautiful mixed stem we've carried for a few years. Great color. It has the Jumbo Ruscus leaf spray. Nice color on that too. A red Cosmos bundle. Some floral wire.
Okay, it's a bundle of floral wire.
And then that mixed stem there too. But I'm going to find a link to that.
All kinds of bendy vine going on there.
Optional bow is shown as well. Actually, Mom, this is missing whatever that white stem is. Do you have the slip for it?
I don't.
Let's just say.
Wait, I do?
You do.
Okay, so the price is wrong?
Yeah,
It's
the price
missing
is
an
wrong.
item?
It's missing an item. Oh, it's not on your paper.
That's what happens.
That would be why. Okay, so I need to
Okay.
find that stem, link it. The price is going to go up a smidge.
Yeah, the most significant thing must have got missed in the pricing. Okay.
Scanner tags. I'll find it.
That's not helpful. I did not double check all these items. Oh, right. This little bundle.
It always happens when we're live.
While she's getting that done. This little bundle is 4 stems of mini cosmos. They come with a raffia piece at the base. I'm just going to remove that so that I can have my stems separated. And that way we can stagger them. So they're going to be used in a staggered format. You want one to be longer, the other 3 to be shorter, and they're going to lay into your swag kind of like that. Then our main piece here has a stick straight stem, and because the stem is hard to cut, quite large, and doesn't have a pretty end if you do cut it, I just give it a little curve and curl to shorten it and finish up the way the top looks. We're going to design this as a vertical format, and this stem is the most important item, so she will add it to the kit price to make sure it is included. You'll need it.
It looked like the tags were falling off, so that's probably why you didn't have one.
So then we have a 3 stem pushed upwards. We're going to get those under control later, and the rest of the stems going downwards. So just to clarify for you how we're going to stack them. We also want to use the rustic at the back, and I did cut off some of that stem length. I'm going to lay it right behind here. And your red bundles are going to be placed towards the bottom because your poppy spray is your red color for the top. This is just helping the red go down into the design a little deeper, longer. So there I've staggered them kind of so that I can eyeball how the color is placed there. I like the staggering, and I'm going to add my red poppy spray higher.
$45 is
okay.
the total price there.
There we go. So once you get it all stacked up, you can add a couple of wires at the end, and you don't need to tape over your wires, but I do use floral tape to wrap over my wires to just give them a little tackiness. I'm going to use the first wire right across the middle of the poppy spray so that I don't miss anything. Smack dab in the middle. It's also coming out on the back side just below the curl of my stem. And we're going to give that one a good tight twist with the pliers. That's wire number 1. I always add more than 1 wire because you want to make sure that these designs don't twist apart. Something's going to fall out the bottom or move itself around too much if you don't get a second wire in place. And mostly you're trying to secure all of the little stems, not so much the white and green stem. But I'm adding a second wire. It looks to be about 2.5 inches below the first one. Wire 1, wire 2. And that will ensure that my stems are nicely stacked here and don't go migrating anywhere. So I'm going to cut that bottom one off short. If you want to make a hanger out of your wires, you can use 2 up towards the top here and loop them together to make a hanger, which is usually the easiest thing to do. Okay, I just need 1 more little wire to create my hanger at the top then. Your bow, if you wire one of those on, can also become the hanger. So a couple different ways to make a hanger, and that will give you some quick tips. Okay, this is all I need to get my hanger secure.
And at this point, I mean, you could put it in a large tray. We're going to make it more for a front door, would be really pretty. Or if you have some of those narrow walls in your home, between doorways or hallways that you just never know what to put there, these are great for that. Very versatile.
So I added a nice big wire loop out of 2 pieces of wire. Now you can see we've got this wild white stuff going on here. You just want to work them back in by forming some loops out of them. They are heavy gauge wires. You can simply spiral them around your hand like this to give them a little bit of control and shape. And the other thing that looks cute is if you do choose to put a bow on, whichever one you decide you prefer, I think the bow should go immediately under the poppy, in the gap between the poppy and the red, and that's going to give you the best placement so that the flower is still visible right above the bow. So we're just going to pop that bow right on underneath the poppy here. And once you get it in place and shape it out, that way you can see you can take these wires and sort of tuck them into the bow to help incorporate the bow a little bit and have the bendy vine look popping in through the bow. Anything that doesn't suit you on the bottom, you can control the stems by giving them a little spiral around your finger rather than leaving them straight. Sometimes the spiral helps you shape them. And you can see by looping the top ones back in, you get some nice loops at the top and it creates an interesting shape. And our long teardrop swag just gets formed so easily. So tray design would also be a good look with this piece. And you could add some candles and
that
some
again
extras.
is the Uncle Sam swag kit for $45. Bow is
go.
optional, but highly encouraged. It's beautiful.
It's a good look. I like the bow with it.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, ready for the next
See, you
thing.
have the paper to clip onto that.
Yes, I have the paper here.
And here's a clip for you if you need it.
No, that's okay. I'm just kind of stacking them.
Okay.
I guess I can reorganize them. There's a lot of stuff to go through. I see more on the cart over there too, so we're going to have to keep it rocking and rolling today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments as we go. I'm kind of reading through them. They're loving the designs, that's for sure. Yeah, it's early in the day, but we're getting there. It's a lot of prep work.
Yes, it is. It took me a few days to be ready.
Yep.
For this
it takes us like a few weeks, really. It takes a little bit of time, but that's okay. Now, assuming all the stems are listed on this paper, it's good to go.
Do you want the paper?
Maybe whatever, just to keep it by me. You never
Double
know.
check everything.
Yes.
Okay. What I don't have is a full bush of the ivy. I did not
We'll
get
just
one
kind of
those.
set it together. That's okay.
Let's try to recreate the
And
ivy
then,
that I cut apart.
So that's all the patriotic. And we're going to
Yes.
start moving into summer designs, some pinks, oranges, bright colors. I might do some succulent pots after this design, and then we'll get into the really bright summery to transition a little bit. That's the plan, Stan. Just let me know when you're ready for a photo. Ida said, love, love, love it all. Deborah said, cute. Pat loves the swag. Pam loves it. We love swags around here. We do a lot of swags.
We do a lot of them, that's for sure.
Yes. Okay, good for a photo?
Yep, do you want that there?
Yeah, right there is perfect. Okay, we'll just snap a quick photo just so that way you guys see all the components that are used in this lovely design. And whenever you're ready, Mom.
Okay.
Now, let's just verify here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 components. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. I'm going to count from now on just to make sure we don't miss anything. Okay, y'all ready to go?
All right, yes.
All right. This next piece is the Always Love Memorial Saddle Kit. And this kit is meant for a headstone topper. We'll talk a little bit about that. It does start out with our memorial saddle prepped with foam and a little moss. So
here we have it put together. It's going to come in a bag, and the clips get added by you either before or after you design it, whatever you prefer. They just pop onto the tray.
yes,
But it does come mossed in the tray.
we always sell them prepped, so that way all you have to do is just get started.
And this item called the Memorial Monument Saddle Clip sold separately for $27.50, by the way. It's linked in the product and you can purchase it separately.
It is. All right, the next item on that is the Frosted Garden Ivy Hanging Bush.
Which I have pre-cut here. These are the pieces.
A UV protected coleus.
Here's the full bush.
A UV protected little fern.
Here is the fern cut apart.
and a dahlia and peony mixed flowering bush.
Multiple stems on that, quite large.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this kit is on sale for $55. So great price point. You're just going to be making it at home. You're going to get all of these components and you can recreate the beautiful look today.
Unfortunately, I should have sorted them better. Let's try to do
You got
that.
a lot of little cut pieces
Let's try
there.
to do this next.
So memorial kits are very labor intensive. As you can tell, Mom has just completely chopped everything apart.
Yes.
So it takes a lot of time to make these kits, but if you want to save a little money and make it at home, I highly recommend this beautiful memorial saddle kit that you can also add color to. So this is just a great base for you to make at home, and then you can add whatever colors you'd like.
So you'll need a good wire cutters.
Yes.
Side cutters or something to get these all cut apart, because every single bush got cut apart.
As you can see,
The coleus in all 5 pieces, the white floral bush, every segment cut off with the full stem length possible. The ivy bush, every piece cut off of the base.
Yep.
And the mini fern here, I did leave 3 pieces on the center and then took 2 away from it.
Yep.
Okay, so the first thing I always do is outline with my flowers. Let's do those first, because you'll have a couple of little lime green filler stems that we'll use last as part of that bush. You'll have some flat dahlias. You'll have 3 rounded dahlias and 2 peony shapes. So 2, 2, and 3. If we're going to do the 3, let's make these 3 have a single standalone at the top. Let's have a staggered piece out to one side, a staggered piece out to the other side. You're going to definitely want to have some glue, because anything with memorial work is going to need a great amount of glue to hold it together in place at the cemetery. Maybe you don't leave it out there very long, but I find that the wind and the wear and tear on these pieces is a little bit more extreme than anything at your house. So we glue every stem insertion, and the tray with the foam has a little bit of moss with the wires, because you're going to be able later to clip the wires and remove this piece of foam from the tray for reuse. We're trying to plan ahead for you and give you the idea that later on, with the weather taking its toll on this piece, you can clip the wires, rip it apart, put a new piece of foam in the tray, and away you go for a new design. So we're just going to lay it out as nicely spaced as we can here with some balance. Give you one more look at the placement of the stems. Should be pretty evident that it lays out nicely, balances nicely, easy to do. And we're going to save these little pieces to fill in the holes later. Now let's outline the length. So of your ivy, you're going to have assorted ivy lengths, and you're going to grab your longest ones. These will be the trailers to go out the ends, and when I'm gluing the trailers in, I'm gluing them underneath the bar of the tray on the end. I'm gluing them down low, and I'm also going to insert them pretty far in so that the leaves come up and touch the design foam. So sink them in all the way up to the leaves. The more you get leaves laying next to the foam, the easier it will be to get the holes filled up on the cage design and cover the foam. So these are the pieces that are going to trail out across the headstone. If this is going on the headstone, you may not be aware that these are flexible plastic, and they do clip over the top of all headstones, and they do flex open quite wide. Even though it seems like they shouldn't, they do. So don't be afraid to flex them open. Just do it gently and it will work just fine for you. We reuse them year after year at our family cemetery plots and put fresh florals in them every year by remaking last year's tray over. So now I've got 2 staggered lengths of ivy coming out each end. We had 4 longer pieces here, so we've got 2 coming out each end. Doesn't have to be absolutely symmetrical, but you could cut them down to make sure they were if that bothered you. And then we'll use the rest of our ivy outlining here. We've got lots of shorty pieces that are the tips in the center of the plant. Those make good fillers. Maybe aim for those on the corners of your styrofoam because that will help hide the corners with that nice cluster of ivy sunk all the way in. So let's hit the corners with the ivy. 1, 2, 3, 4 short tips. Works out for me nicely. Like Kate said, these are labor intensive. We sell many pre-made ones on our website. They are not an inexpensive item, but they take a few flowers. They take a lot of time, but they are a beautiful memorial that is different than many things you see in the cemetery. It's not something you see very often. So it's very showy to look across the cemetery and see these popping out of the top, off the top of the headstone, and being very showy because they do. So we've got a couple extra ivies with some length. I'm going to give them some placement at the top. It's also important to keep this very short. In fact, the total height of this piece from the bottom of the tray to the top of the flower is under 10 inches. I found that not only does it look disproportionate, if you make them taller, it looks top heavy and grabs the wind. The wind will catch it. So if you keep it more of a lower profile and sink this all the way touching the top of the headstone, you'll have a nice look for the placement of it. We're going to work the coleus in next, and most of the pieces of the coleus are similar in length. You could, if you wanted to, cut the coleus stems in half in some places or cut the bottoms off and move them around. I'm going to leave them whole and find some spots here. The other thing that there is room for is some ribbon accents. So on an earlier design, we made ribbon loops and tails. This is a great item to perhaps put some ribbon loops in if it was, we're keeping it neutral so that you can add a color. So you could either work in some extra smaller flowers that have a color accent for you, or you could put patriotic ribbon in this if you want to do this for Veterans Memorial. Flag ribbon, mini flags look very nice. There's a lot of different flowers in our online store that could be added in here to customize and add color. I would just suggest something smaller scale. Okay, then we also have, whoops, one more, a little bit of filler left here with our limey green spiky picks. How are we looking so far? Nice. Got to control all that ivy, bend everything around.
Very green and lush.
There we go. So let's fill in and use our 3-part fern that we left together right down the center here. And I'm going to make sure I sink that all the way down so the ferns are touching the foam, and that's going to help fill the top for me. Getting those ferns down there low disguises some of the foam, makes it look fuller. And then you've got 2 extra pieces that you removed, so you can put one of those on each side. Looks like part of my pick fell off here. Just glue it back on. Having glue handy for this is pretty much a necessity. I don't think I would put this out in the cemetery without gluing it. Just too unforgiving, the wind, for sure. I'm going to use the other 2 fern pieces, one on each side, wherever I'm seeing the biggest space that needs to be covered. There we go. And then we have all the little green tips. 1, 2, 3, 4 green tips. Those are probably going to be beneficial if we cut them pretty short. They're nice and puffy. You definitely want these pieces to be used to fill in the holes by sinking them all the way up to the green base. So by cutting the stem short, you're going to be sure you get it in there nice and snug. It does add some good texture and contrast. You can see when you pop it in there, it looks nice to add that. And we almost have it, but there is certainly room for more. So for suggestions, you can buy like a pink impatient bush and cut that apart and add it. You could add some red or white mini pom-pom mums. You could add yellow forsythia. Trying to see what else I can eyeball over that. You could cut some
I
geraniums
always like
to put in there.
This is always pretty. The impatient bush. If you like the pink colors.
That might be the thing.
If you want something tropical, you can look for our pin cushions, orchids, things like that. Or any of the rudbeckia or echinacea are great
Those
outdoor.
are great.
And poppies come in 4 colors, so those are all great
poppies
options.
are really good for cemetery work. They do hold their color
Just shop
well.
our Outdoor Safe Silk Stem collection,
Okay.
and you'll see lots of different options.
So this piece fills in quite nicely. You can still eyeball some of the foam, like over here, for instance. You can still see into
glue
some
off.
of the foam and the glue. But what is happening is that this is cemetery work, and you are going to be viewing this more from a distance. So I don't feel like these have to be completely solid full to try to keep the cost down. We don't cover it with moss because the moss just gets mildewy, and we also just use the minimum flowers to get it shaped out nicely, but your extra color addition would be easy to do, and ribbon loops even easier. So hopefully that gives you some inspo on how to finish this up for your own design. I know you're going to be able to make more than one of these, probably. Most people could use several, but take a look and see if you can put this one together on your own.
Beautiful. Awesome. Look at that.
There you go.
Elaine said you make it look so easy.
We're working through
You
it.
can do it, Elaine.
We're working through it. There's all kinds of tips and tricks. I try
Beautiful.
to share all of those.
And this is our only saddle kit of the day. We wanted to just do one that you can add whatever colors you want to. So
It's also kind of a tutorial if you buy just the saddle.
Yep. I want
which,
to make it.
Again, is called the Memorial Monument Saddle Clip. $27.50. This comes with the little clip-ons that you put on yourself. This basic outline tells you how to use most of the products in what order and how much to use. So hopefully you can mix up your own flower selection.
If you are interested in buying Amy's demo sample pieces, we will be taking orders for those on Monday. Kayla and I will go through messages and emails. So send a Facebook message or an email if you're interested in the
Completed
one
samples.
sample.
Of which there's only one.
There's only one. We won't make any more, I don't think, just because time is a big thing. But yeah, very gluey.
I know.
Okay,
all
do you need
over
some
me.
tea? How you doing?
We're good. We're good.
Good. We're going to move on to some everyday succulent designs now.
Okay.
And this one has sold out. This was one of the first ones we put online.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Someone had asked a question that I responded in comments but wanted to follow up. She said, do you have anything for stones down on the ground? So I suggested a wreath with one of our outdoor easels as the best option for that.
Yes, you can also buy the vases that we sell online. We don't sell the empty vases, as those are available even at your floral department of a grocery store. But the vases that we sell online have the steel picks to go into the ground. You could also take the piece, if you wanted to, don't put the legs on it and just set the tray right on the ground in order to secure it so it doesn't blow away. You could get as basic as cutting apart a couple of wire coat hangers and pinning over the top of it or pinning through the plastic.
Yeah.
So that would work
Like
as well.
ground stakes, garden stakes.
I'm going to need to see the picture of this.
Okay,
How did I
can
do this
pull
one?
that.
Okay.
I should mention, with this kit, we had it designed one way, but this button fern sold out already. And so it's photographed with the button fern, but we have swapped it for the
That style of
other
fern.
fern. They're the same exact price.
And the same
but
exact cuttings.
Yes, FYI, it used to be the button fern. It's photographed with the button fern, but now we are using the other UV fern. So,
Okay.
little disclaimer on
And
that.
is the foam and moss included or separate?
They
Just make
are,
sure for your flat lay picture.
the moss is separate, but the foam container are all included.
Okay.
You see that? Good.
Yes.
Okay, little refresh. I'm sure it'll look
I designed
different
it.
than
I
the
just have to
photo.
remember how I designed
Okay,
it.
so I'll get a little photo here. Oops, let me zoom out a little bit. Little photo so that way you guys can see all the components. Looks great. Okay, ready?
All right.
How you doing?
We're good.
Okay. This is the Warm Succulent Centerpiece Kit. This kit is a regular price of $89, And today and tomorrow it's on sale for $76, so April 26th and 27th. This kit has all the things you see here, starting off with the beautiful 9.5-inch antiqued red stone bowl with a white rim. It's a beautiful terracotta style
Rustic.
bowl with a drainage. And it also includes 1 block of our floral foam, high quality floral foam. We're going to use 2 burgundy sedum picks, a real touch succulent pick, which one is that under? Oh, this one with the red pointy. Yep. Okay. A string of hearts spray, a plum perfect aloe pick, that big one, the small Marietta finger succulent, the green, there you go, the purple tip blue sedum succulent, and the purple tip finger succulent, and a UV protect fern bush in green.
There we go.
Optional add-on is some moss that is linked in the kit description. And if you like any of these components, all of the items used are listed in the warm succulent centerpiece kit description.
So here is the bag of sheet moss. You can use it for orchid designs. You can use it for succulent designs. It is preserved and it is dyed and it is not crummy. It's nicely preserved. So you've got a good quality, the best you can buy actually, that sheet moss. And then we're going to use part of a foam block. We don't need the full foam block, but we need almost all of it. Here you can see how much I've removed from the end. And that one I'm going to glue right down into the pot so it stays put. We're always in the habit of gluing our items since we transport, obviously, shipping and moving them around. So I've got glue on the corners. The corners are going to hit the planter, and that way I avoid the center where there is a hole. So this planter, if you wanted to purchase individually, could actually have real succulents in it, real garden plants, what have you, pansies, something like that would be really amazing in there. So then I do put my moss on first in this case, and probably could have benefited from some bigger pieces. I don't know if some of it went missing.
It might have.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. Stretch it the best you can.
Okay. There's a little bit more over here. Okay, we have some small pieces. Fortunately, in the bag, you're going to get some nice large sheet moss pieces. My big pieces are not all here. We're not going to go find them. So we're going to pin them down with a little greening pin to keep it in place. Not a necessary step because you'll be pinning them down with your placement of your succulents through. All right, there we get it outlined a little bit with some moss. Now I would say it's important to fan this little guy out. This has a stem that's short. I didn't cut it. And it is a non-wired product. So these little pieces of leaves are on non-wired vines. And I think the best result here is to just plant it smack dab in the middle and pull the trailers around so that you kind of have a starburst of maybe 5 areas. Get that a little bit fanned around. It's good that it's trailing over the edge of the bowl. I think it really creates a lot of interest that it trails onto the table. I like that look myself. And because there's no wire in it, it's just best to leave it all attached to the base stem. One of these guys fell out, so I'll glue him back on. Okay, once you get that step done, then you'll be able to work your succulents in kind of right over the top. I'm going to try not to press them down, but work between them. And you don't need to glue your succulents if you don't want to. They'll certainly stay easily in this design foam. This is an interesting one. It's a natural touch plant. You can see how pliable and soft it is. I like that. We have to look for color balance here. So when we're doing this, we're going to want like a blue and opposite each other. If you work your colors opposite each other, you're going to have a nice balance to your design. So let's lay out this blue tip sedum going one direction, placing that stem near the center. It's not smack dab in the center. This one is. And the finger succulent, that's the same color. We're going to go out this direction, midway here. So we have some balance in color. And then this little guy, he's going to be seated off over to this side. You got to push them down pretty firmly. They have thick stems, so they take a little bit to press into the foam. And then we have the baby. He's going to go opposite the brown tipped one. A little asymmetrical look. So we have a center, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in a quadrant around the center. Pretty easy. This bright sedum color really is showy, but the other thing about this stem is there's wire in it, so you can actually pull it apart into 3 segments. I'm not going to disassemble them. I'm going to cut them shorter, and I'm going to tuck them in there kind of between the outer succulents and the middle succulent. And by laying him in that location, you'll be able to fan that color around on both sides of the centerpiece here. Fan it into 3, cut him off a little bit, and pop him over to the side here. Okay, that works well. And then the extra greens that we've provided with that fern just really amps up the interest and fullness factor. This one I would cut all the little parts off, and if you cut them leaving as much of the extra wire as you can on the bottom, that is going to ensure that you have something to stick into the plant, into the foam. This might be best with glue. Since these are short little slick stems, they wouldn't stay as well in the foam minus the glue, but they probably would hold okay. And that's going to help fill out the sides in the gaps between. It also has just a really good shape for adding interest. It has broken up all the round objects here. Adds a little spikiness. Trying to really get it sunk in there so it doesn't wiggle itself loose. There we go. Now I've worked in 4 pieces in the gaps between my succulents. And number 5, I'm going to just decide where is my next biggest hole that it could use and benefit from this, and we'll just place it there. Pick a spot in the middle and pop it in, depending on how it looks at your house. Very full, filled all the areas in. Still have all the little trailing vine peeking through. If you want it to show a little better here and there, you could lift it back up over top of something if it got hidden. It's sticking out pretty well over here. Okay, let's take a look. There we go. In the round, some nice trailers, and your moss, if you bought that, will be showing in between the succulents. So this is a design that does benefit from having that green moss in there. It ensures you don't have to overfill with expensive succulents because it's okay to see the green moss.
And that string of hearts is so fun in that planter. I love it. Just want to put that on my patio table. Beautiful.
Very cute.
Okay. Anne said, looks great. I so enjoy watching Amy design. Kim said, I'm learning so much. Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome, everybody.
That is just a beautiful piece.
I love teaching all the tips and tricks of the trade. Hopefully you're learning something new every time you watch.
I always learn something new. Here, can I get this for you? You can take a drink of water. We have a good pile of stuff to do yet. Our latest that we're going to be live is 12:30 Central. So we're hoping to be done by then, because also that's a long live. And I'm taking videos of all of these kits. I'm going to post them to YouTube when we're done. And you'll be able to watch the replay by kit. And that way you'll be able to, when you get your kit in the mail or pick it up at the store, you'll be able to recreate it at home easily.
That is true.
Okay, so this one's all done. And we're going to move on to one more succulent design, and then let's get into some serious summer styles. That's what we want, right? We want some summer styles.
Okay. This is going to be a little bit smaller.
I love this piece, Sharon said. Amy makes everything so unique and beautiful. Sandra said, I love it. I need that for my deck. Yeah, it's a good outdoor one. Because that planter's so heavy.
The planter's heavy. It's not going to go anywhere. We have used up all of our UV protected succulents. So these are not those. The fern is UV protected.
Yep.
So succulents can have a fading factor, but they are definitely a fun look for the patio and worth a shot.
Okay, let me get a flat lay before I start the video and take this paper out of the way here.
Okay.
And then this one, the moss is actually included.
Oh.
Okay.
Then that would be the full bag.
Yes, it'd be the full bag
So
is
then
included.
You should do this. There you go.
Got it. Thanks.
Probably should have done that with the other one.
How do we watch you on YouTube? Elaine, I'll drop a link here. But if you go to YouTube, just search Magnolias NE for Nebraska. That is our handle everywhere. So if you search Magnolias
And make sure you
NE,
subscribe to the YouTube channel, because if you do and get notifications when we add new videos, we upload our Facebook videos there, almost all of them.
Trish said, you need to name one of your DIYs Serious Summer. Okay, I'm going to save that idea. Kayla would totally use that in one of our designs.
Would. Serious Summer would do it.
All right. Okay, ready to go?
I am.
This is going to be a beautiful succulent planter kit. These are all silk stems. And this is the new classic succulent planter kit. It is a regular price of $68, and you can recreate this at home using our really fun white stone planter. It's a 7.5-inch antiqued white stone planter.
It's pretty rustic.
It will come with our floral foam block in this kit. Mom's going to cut that down. We have quite a few different succulents in this one, including the sage cup leaf succulent rosette. No idea which is which, to be honest.
This one.
A wormwood bush.
This one, cut apart.
A real touch echeveria.
Could be this.
I don't know what that one is. A peach aneum pick.
This one.
Yep. The Real Touch Blush Hanging Sedum Vine, a Marietta Finger Succulent, and this kit includes a bag of green preserved sheet moss.
You're going to want a nice chunk of it.
And this is the new classic succulent planter kit.
The sheet moss can also be used in tray designs. If you just put a little sheet moss in a very woodland type of tray, it's a great addition for any of the leftover moss you'll have in that bag or other designs. One thing that can help when the foam is projecting up over the top of the container is to take the corners off. I don't know if you've ever thought of that, but if you take the corners off and then lay your moss on, you're not going to have that weird corner trying to poke through your moss. It makes the moss cover better. And one thing I never do is glue my moss to my foam. And the reason is wherever you glue it, you're sure to try to stick a stem there, and the heavy glue will stop your stem from penetrating into the foam, and you'll be frustrated. So I never glue it. Sometimes I pick it, but usually I just start working over the top of it with my stems, and they will hold it in. So let's go that route today. This piece is really interesting. It has a nice multiple tendril design to it, and I don't want to cut it off of the main stem, because if you did, you'd really have to fight to get these pieces to go back into your foam. So basically, I'm just going to press that into the center and seat that with the little pieces fanning out and around, and we're going to work around in between that, trying to not pin that down. There we go. And then we're going to just start placing our bigger succulents first. Basically, you've got 3 large scale pieces that are going to form some balance around your design in a little triangle, and just slipping it open enough to add my 4th piece here. So that will give my greens balance opposite each other, and these 2 other pieces opposite that. So let's do a quadrant concept here, knowing that most of these are going to be towards the center because he's pretty small. So that one goes in. Also seating these near the center of the foam and getting them pressed pretty far onto the foam itself. I don't like to see my succulents suspending up and sticking out like this. Your succulent is generally growing right next to the dirt. So we need to sink him down pretty good to make it look realistic. And then we'll add this little baby opposite the green cup succulent. And take a look. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. We will then use the wormwood bush, cut apart into pieces to get some different texture going and break up all the round shapes. Looks like I have cut almost all of it off the bush stem. The stem is just a little shorty bush, so you're not ever going to have any long stem length, but we need really short pieces in order to fill in well and not overwhelm the design. Somehow this piece has come off, but I don't know where. So we will find a home for him and stick him back on. There we go. So then we're just going to dip all these little short stems, and just like the other design that we did of succulents today, these are going to sort of radiate and add some fullness out to the side, more so than the center. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So I guess I do have 1 for the center and 4 in the gaps between my succulents. Easy enough. I'm gluing these as I go, whereas the succulent stems are definitely seated in there and they're not going to pop out. These little fern stems very well could. So they're getting some glue to ensure that the little shorty stems don't come out of the foam. And that is literally all there is to it. I'm going to lift this pink up a little bit and let it drape over. So a couple of them got huggied underneath here. We'll make sure he shows. Make sure he shows. Lifting it up, lay it over that wormwood fern bush, then it is a little bit more visible. Okay, let's take a look and see what you think. Fastest one of the day, I'd say.
So cute. That is so fun. Ruth said, trimming the foam corner tip is mind-blowing.
Another fun tip, depending where you display this, is these are pretty rustic pots. You're going to want to put little felt tabs on these if you do use them on any nice surface, because they would scratch a surface.
Yes, and love this idea from Kim. She said it's so cute. That would look nice in a little girl's room or as a baby shower gift for a girl.
Wouldn't that be fun? And you know what? Young moms today would be all about a succulent design.
100%. Yep. Dawn loves that trailing sedum. Anne asked, is it okay to mix succulents with floral stems?
Yes, you sure can.
We encourage it because that helps bring the cost down a little bit, because succulents are on the higher end.
Succulents are.
So you'll see us use ferns and stuff a lot.
Or you can use a flower head where a succulent would be, just a full-on flower head sunk all the way into the foam.
Love this idea from Sharon. She said you should add some bendy vine to it. That would be so cool in there.
You know, Sharon, we did not go bendy vine crazy on this live. Now that you mention it,
actually.
And I realized this morning that I really had no drop-in designs, so we kind of did a different route today.
We don't have any drop-ins, actually.
If you didn't realize it, we're a couple hours shorter than our normal day.
But we're doing it in one chunk.
We're doing it in one chunk.
Yes.
Not taking any breaks. And then the other reason being I've got an event to prepare for at home. So I will...
We're going to celebrate Grandpa's birthday this weekend.
Yeah. He is having his 80th birthday party.
Oh, did I stop this or did I forget?
You did.
I did. Okay, good.
Yes. And is this optional, I believe?
It is optional.
We need to flat lay without that.
Yes, and we're going to use that on the next piece too, so I'm going to kind of keep like items together.
I have one underneath here.
You do?
So
Oh,
I have
perfect.
A spare.
Okay.
Made some new bows for the live today. We'll be showing a couple of new ones.
Hey, Justine, you're inspiring me today, she said, to get some things made up. I've been lacking in inspiration lately. Well, we're here for you.
This is the Lavender Wish bow, and it's made with this really pretty textured lavender ribbon, which is a spring ribbon. So it's on sale 25% off. But just for the weekend, a neutral ribbon like this one that we call an everyday ribbon is now 15% off for this special event also.
Awesome. Okay, are we ready to go?
We are going.
Okay. What is the name of this? I gotta pull that up so I'm ready. Okay. This is the Linda's Lavender Wreath Kit. This kit is on sale for $88, great price point. And this is only 3 items being included in this kit. It starts with our 22-inch hydrangea succulent wreath. This wreath is on an angel vine base. It could be outdoor in a covered area. Very full with a lot of mixed items and succulents. We're going to use the blush Hoya hanging bush today for a little color and just nice draping. And the full life willow branch, which is kind of a bendy vine style branch with some willow leaves on it. An optional add-on in this kit is going to be our lavender wish bow. If you want a little bit more spring color added to it, that can be also used as more of an everyday design. So this is the Linda's Lavender Wreath Kit.
There we go. Okay, again with my mess.
And I see you've cut all your components apart.
Cut all my components apart. So basically you cut all of the willows off of the core stem. It's kind of wasting it, I know. We're going to use a chunk a little bit later that I don't cut up so much. But all of these little pieces have heavy gauge wire tips, so you can pretty much just rip them off the stem because it's a paper wrap stem. So you can cut or you can tear them off and save your hand if you want to. They come off in sections here at the very tip of the branch. I've left this one clustered together. You can see how it's ripping off of the branch here. So this top part is literally 3 pieces stuck together. And then the Hoya cuts apart in, how many pieces do we get here? This one it wants to hold itself in chunks. Somehow they've got plastic connecting the stems together, which is a little weird, but that's, do I have all of it here?
There is one I see already in your wreath.
Oh, still stuck in the wreath? Okay. Tip, full piece. Let me double check. Seems like a little less. And the structure is different. Yeah, the structure is different. I think I've got it all. Just looks different when you cut it apart. Definitely a good plant structure for outdoor porch pots, and it is a UV protect item. So there is that factor too for using it outside. So the first thing I'm going to fight with is the Hoya plant. And the thing about the design is that you've got a couple of trailers here. This trailer and this trailer. Looks like 2 chunks that want to trail and 2 shorty tips. They kind of just connect with this plastic, so I guess I could rip them apart. Whatever that's about, it's just a weird construction. But what I'm envisioning is that the wreath itself has 3 succulents in blue. Do you see the 3 blue finger succulents in there? So pay attention to where those are. And here we have a triangle. I'm going to intentionally put my bow at the top, and I want my bow to go where the succulents are not, so that I don't cover them up, because I think they're the funnest part of the wreath. So 1, 2, 3 in a triangle. Pick the top up here for your bow location and reserve that for the bow. Then the trailing pieces are going to look cool coming out the left and right of the bottom. I'll just lay them on there and show you. And if you like the idea of trailing one through the middle. So it looks good to break up the roundness of the wreath by trailing these pieces out the bottom. And then the little shorty guys will be out the sides. So let's just use glue if you want to, or if you don't use glue, you're actually able to insert these sturdy stems right into the angel vine base itself. I'm doing the stabbing in there with a little dot of glue on the branch, on the base of it, but the stem is sturdy and the angel vine base is wrapped with wire. So you can literally, without wire, slip the stem into the angel vine, and if you slide it in there deep enough, it stays put, especially if you slide it in behind one of the wires. So there is that little tip that makes it easy for you. And then the little trailers are just going to be winging out the bottom. The idea of adding the greens is something to break up the roundness of this wreath. The roundness is just pretty compact I'm also going to put a third one that will hang down the middle. I kind of like that idea. It makes it very gardeny. And then we have 3 more pieces, so still reserving the center for my bow. I'm going to lay a couple of these out the sides so they're deliberately showing, winging them out. Okay. Happy to see this is working out nicely. Makes the wreath look a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller, and it brightens it up with a little brighter green in this case of adding that Hoya. Wow, we got glue going on like crazy here. Okay.
That's pretty normal around here.
We have glue all the time. On my hands, on my clothes, in my car. It's just the side light. The side light of having.
In our rings.
Yes, in our rings. So that's why I have very little jewelry on. These little babies, we've got multiple pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then that chunk that was the center. Let's worry about him for starters. So basically, this is bendy vine. And you've got little leaves attached to it, but the core of the vine is wired. If you want to control it a little bit, spiraling it will help considerably. And each wire is going to do the same thing, going right into the vine, the angel vine base. And I'm going to put this one out one direction away from where the bow will be. And I'll grab a cluster of 3, kind of twist them together and put this going the other direction from the bow. You're just going to play with this stuff till you get it where you like it, but it is easy to manipulate it and spiral it and tuck it in. And it'll stay tucked. I think once I create that spiral, it looks to me like it's going to stay put. That really is going to make it wingy. Let me keep these in pairs here. I'm going to grab 2 at a time and work my way a little lower around the wreath. Once you get it in there, give it a little spiral. And just taking that spiral and tucking it down into the wreath and letting the tips pop back out. Let's grab another cluster of 2. And that pretty much is how you finish the design up. Just like that, work your way around it. There's really no right way to do this. It's just whatever looks good to your eye. Maybe you want to leave them a little longer. Maybe you want to make big loops out to the side. Looks like I've got room for a little bit more up here where the bow is going to go, because it always looks good to have some of these worked into the bow. So I think I will add those 2 and then lay my bow over the top of it. Whoops, here it is. This is the optional item. We have other bows in the online store you might prefer, or you might have your own ribbon that you want to do. But you're just going to wire that across the top here. Let your tails come through the middle. And then if you've got some wingy pieces that you decided to leave free, you can spiral them back into your ribbon, sort of incorporating the vine into the bow. Okay, let's take a look and see what we think. It got a little bit wilder, didn't it? Cool design, easy to do. Angel vine wreaths are a very forgiving structure, easier to work with than grapevine wreaths. And I know you can put this one together too.
Fun. Beautiful piece.
There we have it.
Okay, it's 11:07.
We're gonna keep going faster?
Yes.
Hand me another one.
It's right next to you. We're gonna do this little swag. It should only take a few minutes. And
okay.
Wow, these are just beautiful. Beautiful wreath, Rosalie says. Gorgeous, Justine says. Beautiful. You know, you want to have those kind of soft colors that are more everyday.
That is an everyday look, I'd say.
It is more everyday, yeah. Trish loves hanging vines. Who doesn't love a little bit of sun color?
Here's another easy one.
Yeah, this is going to be really fast. Simple piece. We love simple pieces. And the bow is separate on this one, optional. And you have an extra bow?
I do.
You're going to need that. Okay, we're gonna go quick, and we're gonna do a giant porch pot after this. Can't wait.
Okay. Let's go through the...
This is the Fairy Tale Swag Kit. This kit is only 38 bucks, and the bow is separate optional. This is going to be built on the Wrap Twig Spray, a favorite cream-colored bendy vine, with a mini ranunculus and sage bundle, beautiful soft apricot and lavender colors. We're going to use 2 of our favorite lavender clematis sprays. And today we're going to show it with an optional bow, the lavender wish bow, if you would like it to coordinate with the wreath.
Okay, just like with one of our other stems, I am taking the perfectly straight stem, and instead of cutting it off, we're giving it a spiral. The reason being, these are paper wrap stems. They're best for use indoors. If you cut the paper wrap stem, you're going to be obligated to do something to the end so that it doesn't unravel. And then there are 3 basic sections, the center coming down here, and then 2 little wingy sides that we're going to use to loop back into our design. You simply lay that one flat and shape your spray with a couple of the ferns and a couple of the flowers heading upwards. So I'm just going to let the stem go towards me. I'm going to lay back a long fern. I'm going to fan out some of these stems, open it up so that I can lay in the last little flower spray. The clematis spray goes in next. We're stacking up the stems up here to create the hanger at the top. In fact, that little circle loop can form the hanger. And then your clematis stems, which got cut shorter, are going to lay in place staggered, one bloom higher than the other. Whoops, I might have cut this one longer to do that. There we go. That's the perfect color accent to go with that spray, picking up the lavender. That's just a touch of the background spray. And then we're going to get some wire on there to make sure we secure all those stems together. So I'm placing a wire across all the stems right about in the middle here. If you can see where I'm at, I am right here on my design. And we're going to use a pliers to tighten that up. There we go. And then I'm actually going to drop it down about 1 inch and make one more with the tail of my wire, one more little tight twist so that it's kind of got 2 areas of wire keeping things from spinning apart. They're about 1 inch apart in the wire sections. Just want to ensure you get all the clematis is most likely to be the item that would fall out if anything were to wiggle itself free. So that's what you want to watch for. And then when that's in place, you can pull your stems back together, kind of mix them back into the middle, and our winging out pieces of the wrap twig, they just need to pull back to the middle here, like this and like this. You just have to figure out, do you like them directly across from each other, making a loop like so? Do you like one up and one down? Wherever you decide they need to go, you just use the stem itself to twist it around the base and secure it. It's like a giant wire itself. So you just find one end, connect it, and loop the stems together.
Make it look easy.
I'm making it look easy. It's a little hard to describe that I'm just securing it with its own wire around back to the base. I'm leaving mine sort of offset so that I have a spot right in the middle here that I would like to see my bow going. This is one of the bows that could work. I think you could also choose to go more pinky peach if you like. This bow is a multi-strand bow called the First Day of Spring bow. Equally nice with it, First Day of Spring. And you could also use, I had one more new one. Depends which one you like. This is just a combo of only 2 colors. This is called the Peach Daisies bow. And if that doesn't trip your trigger, we're going to go back to the lavender idea. This is the new one I designed for the live, so I essentially designed it for these looks today. And that's all you have to do. It can hang from the loop you created, or you can continue to form a hanger out of the bow wire that comes with the bow.
Beautiful, easy sweat kit.
Let me hold that up so you can get one last look here.
Okay. That was quick. You
There
can
we
tell
go.
she went to hyper speed.
Hyper speed. Okay, we got it.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. They're loving the design. So pretty. That one matches the Linda Lavender wreath. And very inexpensive, too. That's a
There we
good
go.
starter kit.
It's an
All
easy
right.
one.
Are you ready for a giant porch pot,
Let's
Mom?
do a porch pot.
We're going to do a really big one. Let's get into, as we said, some serious summer. That's what we're here for. We want some serious summer.
Okay.
All so fun. If you missed the start of the video, the patriotic behind Mom, you can always go back and watch the replay. And you want more water?
Eventually.
Okay, that's no worries. And yeah, we're going to keep rocking and rolling here today. We're going to be live until about noon, maybe 12:30. At this rate, I have a feeling she might want to go till 12:30. We'll see. But we're going to do some vibrant, fun colors now. I can't wait. When I was laying out these designs, I was trying to lay out things that I knew you guys were buying quickly and colors you were interested in, and I thought, of course, we have to do an Aloha collection piece.
The Aloha
Necessary.
collection has been a very hot.
Okay, and this one, the pot is separate, Mom.
And the foam is probably
Yes,
separate also.
so go ahead and take those out of my photo. Snap, done.
Okay.
And we'll get jumping into this one.
Okay.
All right. This is the Welcome to Hawaii Porch Pot Kit. This kit is on sale for $108. And this is a stem bundle meant to be used in a pot of dirt at home. But we also have optional add-on floral foam and container. But let's start with the stems. We have the Flame Gerber Daisy Spray. 2 of the Orange Moment Cosmos, the Pink Passion Rudbeckia, a New Guinea Impatiens, Elephant Ear Philo Leaf Bush, UV Protected Croton, UV Protected Floridian Bougainvillea, my favorite, the Athens Pothos Bush, 2 of the Finding Joy Forsythia stems, and a Real Touch Family Time Fern Bush. Beautiful fern. Optional, if you want to make it in a pot with foam at home, you're going to want 3 foam blocks and a black round flower pot.
Okay.
And those are linked in the kit description. So welcome to Hawaii Porch Pot.
All right, here we go. So one thing about this porch pot is I've already glued together 2 pieces of foam from our in-stock foam selection, always carrying that for you. High quality silk foam that we sell that I do not see in other craft supply shops or websites. So this is going to be corners glued down. The corners are going to hit that planter first. And then one trick about foam block number 3 is that if you use a 3rd foam block or even part of a foam block, one tip to keep that foam stable and not tweak and break, because there's a little wiggle room and some play in there, is you can split another block into a couple of wedges. And these pieces do not have to be very big. They don't have to reach all the way to the bottom. They just need to provide a wedge of the space so that the block can't move in the pot. That one goes on one side, and we'll put this chunk on the other side, and that will further stabilize that for us. Not an absolutely necessary step, but a tip to keep it stabilized. All right, now we've got our foam laying this direction, so it's stacking backwards. We want to start placing our tall stems way back here at the back of the design in the back third of your planter. Don't start in the middle with your tall stems if you're doing a one-sided pot. If your pot is going to be shaped in some way all the way around, then you can do that. But I try to work my way from the back to the front and build some nice dimension. So we're using our forsythia stems. I think they're intact stems. I don't remember that I cut these. And you can just press them into the foam or into your dirt planter. If you're not purchasing a planter and foam from me, it's probably because you just want to stick this right into the dirt. So if you're doing that, the key would be to insert your stems, the tallest stems, pretty far into the foam or the dirt to keep them more stable in the wind. All these stems are outdoor safe. Many of them are UV protected stems, which we favor for outdoor use, just to be more helpful in holding up in the elements. Then we want to seat some of our other bigger scale items. Let's make sure we have left room for this really large plant. That's going to be an upright plant. I can see I'm going to put him on the opposite side from the bougainvillea little bud down here, and we'll trail our pothos plant also. So that one's going to get seated all the way to the bottom. If I'm designing in foam, doing porch planters, I do not use moss. And the reason I don't use the moss is because it gets mildewy if it gets damp, especially in humid climates. And in our area, in the spring, the birds are stealing all that mossy material to make their nests, so it just goes missing anyway.
This is a very tall design, so
It's
you might
completely
have
cut
to
off the
hold it
camera.
low. Yeah.
There we go.
It's a very big one, but beautiful.
This pothos bush, in order for it to look natural, you're going to want to pull those segments apart a little bit. And if you're using this in a pot of dirt, leaving the bushes uncut is going to get you the best result for getting them in place without having the pieces fly out from the wind. You're going to use just the full chunks of everything. Then we also need to get our accent plant over here, the little impatient bush. He's going to be nestled down in this general area. If you're using this planter outside, we kind of assume the plastic pots are going to act as liners. This pot is about a 10 by 10 liner pot.
We need like a special low table to do these giant
I guess
porch
we
pots.
do. Okay. And then let me check here where we want our croton to go. We're going to use this little guy. Looks like he just needs to go into the center. And then once you get him seated in the center, we're going to take the stems and spread them out a little bit. So I can take some of that material and bend it downwards. Some of it can go one direction. We're just going to work in our accent stems in there with it. So a lot of these you can always shape it later if you need to. This big stem is definitely a showy one, but you do want to make sure at the end you get it positioned where you like it, carefully without popping off the leaf. There we go. We're going to hit him with the dotted glue and put him right back on. Okay, so with the color choices here, we're going to add those high up, and we're also going to use this low bush. Do you see the gap that we've got going on back over here? So let's use this fern nestled up underneath the big leafed plants, and that will fan and fill. So if you are covering your dirt in your planter, you're going to have a nice ground cover look here with the fern, plus some drapiness if it's in a wider pot to help it fill in the pot. And then the pothos is peeking out on the back side over here. So we won't have a completely full back design, but the way we do our porch pots generally is one-sided, and you assume that the back of this is against the house. All right, now we can see that there's just a need for some fun color right through the middle. So let's feature our Gerbera daisy stem here. Add him with some glue. I always glue in my foam to ensure everything stays put in the elements. But you certainly don't have to. If you don't have the glue handy, it would probably stay put pretty well. We know ours are shipping and traveling, so that's why we make sure we glue them in there really good for you. I'm going to cut a little length off of this pink Rudbeckia or Echeveria. Rudbeckia, I can't ever remember.
And then just hold it down low too, just so we can see the progress. Thank you. Awesome. Because it is big. It is really big.
A few more stems. These are just going to get cut a little bit shorter, and they're going to be nice and spriggy through the middle and through the front here. Cosmos is a good one. You can shape it really well. The leaves all, the stems all have wire. Okay. This one fans out nicely. Okay,
wow.
Let's take a look.
Wow, wow.
It's showy. It's tall. You could condense it.
You should set it on the floor just so we can see. Compared to Mom, it's half her height.
So it's 36
it's more
inches.
than half.
It's 36 inches tall. Because I left the tall stems
yes.
the height that they were coming. If you want it to be shorter, you can certainly condense it. You could even split the forsythia or split the bougainvillea and split it in two.
And this is all outdoor safe, no watering required. Enjoy it all summer long. This should last you a few years. It's beautiful.
There you go.
Gorgeous. Okay. All right. That was quick.
Good.
Is your mouth dry yet?
We're good. Yep. Hand you that water.
Oh, yeah. I got to get you that water. Oh, my gosh.
Well, I'll drink the coffee.
Drink your coffee. I'll grab you some water. We're going to do another Hawaiian style.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Hanging basket. And I'll get you some water here. You want a sip of mine?
It's good. That'll be good.
I'll grab you that after.
Okay.
There's a lot going on. That's a lot to do.
Well, hopefully everyone's doing fine at the store. Hello, Connie and Riley. Are you guys watching over there? And Kelsey. The team is there to help you today.
They're loving that design. They're loving. This one's going to be another perfect one. You're going to want to get this one to go with it.
Hanging basket. All right. Boom, boom, boom. And here.
Okay. Coffee and slushies. Yep, Kim.
Need some we don't have any slushies. Did we drink all our slushies?
I don't know. Wowzers, Debbie says.
Okay, got your photo ready?
Oh, funny. Okay. This includes the basket. So we'll
lay the basket like so you can see it.
Photo taken. Okay.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling.
Okay.
This is the Hawaiian Sunrise Hanging Basket Kit. This kit is on sale for $71. It is going to include our round hanging basket, floral foam. We're going to have 3 of our flame-colored poppy sprays, a draping peperomia, a magenta UV-protected clematis bush, and my favorite, bright spider plant bush.
There it is. Okay, and the hanging baskets this year come with stationary wires on most of them, so this is easy to pop on after you design your basket, so much better than fighting a chain while you're working. I did go ahead and cut my foam. I used about 2/3 of the foam, and it is wired through the bottom of the basket. Can you see my green wire right here? And it's coming up around the foam and secured. You can also glue it and then wire over the top. That would give you a double secure way of getting that put together also. So then our peperonia plants, we're going to use all these plants intact without cutting them apart to make it easy for you. The other reason I don't cut them apart is that it retains the extra height so that these little guys are maximum for height because we've left them on the base stem. And if you get these inserted in the foam, they're pretty stable. These 3 plants each going into the foam, even if you didn't glue them, would probably be safe and secure in there. But we're basically going to pile up first the peperonia, then the clematis. Let's just get them in there and then we'll worry about arranging them. Clematis kind of down over the top of it. And all of these 3 stems are literally having to fight for space in the middle of my foam. This piece, when you shape it, use your hands, just like when you're messing with curling ribbon to get curling ribbon to curl, you're kind of taking your thumb and you're working the leaf by pulling it through your thumb into a curved shape. These come so straight, and they look 100% better if most of the leaves get a nice soft curve to them. Not a sharp bend, but a nice soft curve, and that's how you do it. So this is one of our spider plant styles. We also have a larger spider plant style. If you have a bigger basket of your own and you want to order the larger spider plant, it has big, long airplane stems and much longer drape. This is the small version. Okay, this is getting tucked right in there. So let's get it shaped out and see what we have here. The clematis is in multiple sections, long and short. So we're just going to work it, pulling it around a little bit and get the color balanced. You might have to just arrange it, lifting and pulling it into another direction if it didn't get balanced on you the first time. And then also shape those stems, giving them a drape down too, so they don't look too straight. Nothing in nature grows straight. Everything's got to have a little curve to it. So hopefully you're seeing that okay. Give it a little spin here. The other thing about hanging baskets is I don't get too concerned about the fact that I can see the foam in here. It's going to be hanging, guys. It should be hanging above your view. You shouldn't be looking down into it unless you have it like on a shepherd's hook, in which case you could be more creative about covering the foam, but if it's hanging up, it generally doesn't matter. As long as it looks good and it's up. So don't forget to drop all of these long trailers, because in nature, they're definitely not going to stick straight out. They're going to fall over the edge of the pot and maybe kick up on the bottom. So keep that in mind as you bend all the tips down. Okay, then the easy thing about balancing the poppies is cut the stems off pretty short, and you're going to just place 3 of them in a triangle, maybe eyeball it quick. They are going to end up in between my clematis perfectly, and once you figure out where they're going to go, I'm going to use a little glue on these guys just to ensure they don't go flying. They all have wire in each stem, so you can curve the poppies to hang downwards. Maybe one goes up, one goes down. And by having a dot of glue, you'll make sure they don't wiggle themselves out, since they're sticking out and the wind will catch them. They certainly add some color though, don't they? If you wanted to add extra things to this planter, you could do another round of white poppies, would look great in here. You could put the yellow forsythia in here.
Oh, that'd be good.
You could probably add a chopped up pink and white geranium, which would make it very full. You could cut apart an impatiens bush. You could use, what else? I'm looking around me to see what else would be pink. You could use another pink flower like the pink echinacea.
I think I always go for UV geraniums is always a favorite. The pink white would be really pretty.
They would. And that means all you have left to do is hook your hanger back on and call it good.
Awesome. Beautiful. That's so pretty. And that was made in like 5 minutes. I mean, it's just so fast. So fast. You don't have to go that fast at home.
She told me to hurry up.
I did. I told you to hurry up. I just laughed because she goes into hyperdrive and it's like boom, boom, boom.
Hyperdrive in
Yep.
space? Okay.
We're going to keep with the fun summer colors.
Bright colors.
And we're going to do another fantastic wreath today. Really excited about this next one. It is a really fun tropical look.
Okay.
Take this. And I guess you probably want the whole pieces for the photo.
We're
So
going
we'll
to
do
use
that.
this and this.
You can hang on to that for a second for me. We'll snap a photo so you can see the components used.
I don't see the bow that was suggested, however.
Oh, it's, you had it earlier. Had a hot pink stripe with the apricot. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of this one.
Okay.
I'll look for it. We can
Okay.
use, oh, here it is. This
Buried?
one.
All right. This will be our option, the bow option today. This is
Okay.
a new one.
We all ready to go?
We are.
This is the Little Darling Wreath Kit on sale for 76 bucks today. This kit is built on the wildflower wreath. It is a base design that we have pre-shaped here for the video. She can't stop shaping.
Still shaping.
It also includes the Real Touch Family Time Fern Bush. Beautiful, realistic. And 2 pink ombre peony sprays.
So pretty. I love the centers.
And recommended but not included with the kit is the Paradise Bow or any summer bow. But that is linked separately in this Little Darling Wreath Kit.
All right. Well, this is a very easy one. We don't need to have too much extra work. I did pre-tape some wires. We sell the wires in a bundle. I don't know that the wire was included in this, but
Nope.
The wires are 5 for whatever price, and you would put floral tape on them if you wanted to make them light green and hiding in your wreath. Also makes them tacky. So the thing that you can do with that fern, this specific fern is a paper wrapped stem, and it actually just tears apart off of the base. So these pieces, you can grab one here and pull them apart, and they'll come apart in chunks of fronds, and that's what we want. I've split it apart into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 different chunks. And if your chunks start unwinding or you have these little rough wire edges, which it will, you can also do a little floral taping over the top of that to tidy that up before you use it in your wreath. And basically, you just arrange the ferns around the radius of the wreath, and like an earlier wreath design, this structure has horizontal bands of wire. Do you see them here? That horizontal band of wire is a great spot to insert your stem right behind that wire, right here. So that's what I'm aiming for, and if you have those taped and ready to go, so they're nice little like 1-inch stem ends, that will, with a dot of glue, go right behind the wire for you and make it all secure. So that's just an easy tip, is to aim for that spot. And then if you have any concerns about whether it's going to stay or not, you could always add an additional piece of wire over the top if you needed to. So I already kind of eyeballed where these go, but you might want to lay them out in advance and make sure you get your fern balanced before you start gluing. And this little guy wants to go back here harder. There we go. I've got glue, so I'm committed. Once I dip it in the glue, I've got to get it to stay. So that looks to me like the shorter the stem, the easier it is. Also, the thinner the stem, the easier it is. So that will give you a nice extra fullness to this wreath that it didn't come with. It has lots of leaves, but they're not fern-shaped leaves. So I think that the addition of the fern is a nice look for it. If you're fighting with any of it and you're not having luck inserting behind the wires, or it's not landing where you want to, just add wire to secure your pieces of ferns. No big deal. We have to wire the peony in anyway because it's a bigger stem, and that stem won't fit behind that little wire band that we're aiming for right now. Okay. And there's 2 more to go here, so I'll make
That
sure
Real
I'm
Touch
on
fern
track.
goes a long way.
There's a lot of material, yes. I agree. More than I thought.
It
And
stretches.
wherever you'll have a gap, that's where you could aim to put your bow too. So if you don't worry about where your bow is at this moment, once you get all your fern inserted, then you can double check and see where it might be a good spot to place it. Let's take a look and see how we did here. Whipping that back into shape because I separated it all to get at the glue-in locations. There we go. You can see that fern really fans out and adds a lot of fullness. So it looks to me like I like this chunk that wants to drape down here. I'm going to work with that. Let's make this the top. So then your peonies need to spiral the same direction that your wreath is going. The material's direction is that way. So if I'm going to add a bow up here, I could sweep 2 peonies down one side, which would be, I don't remember how I photographed it.
You had the peonies together to one side.
That's kind of what I thought. So we're going to offset them both over this way. And these, like I said, will have to be wired on. So you've got shortened stems and placement here. Once you figure out where they go, we're just going to use some of our taped wire and put the wire over top of the peony stem. And it looks like, because the peonies are overlapping each other, at the point where the longest one is going underneath this short one, I can wire across both stems at once at one point here. And then I'll have to add another wire or two to secure it in another area. So wire is your friend, and a good pliers that you can tighten things together. I'm always using a pliers. I don't work my hands that hard and wire by hands. Okay, 2 wires will do it. Then you can decide on the bow. So of course today we're selling all of our spring bows in our current collection are 25% off. And if there's any everyday ribbon, it's on sale for this event. If you are grabbing any of our bolts ribbon from our online store, they are 10-yard bolts. In most all the cases of our ribbon, the bolts are put up in 10 yards. Okay, and that is going to leave the perfect spot here for a bow, right up at the top. Shaping is always going to be your best bet to get everything to look the way you want it. And I might spend more time shaping.
Wow. Beautiful.
But let's see how it would look with the addition of that
Very
bow.
tropical and summery.
The paradise bow. Let's see if it goes into the spot I planned right up here. Optional, but I think it really balances out the peonies nicely, so you probably kind of need that little bow in there. Or something like it. Okay, sounds like an easy one to design. It designs itself.
Fun, very simple little darling wreath kit. Really fun.
There
Cool.
we go.
All right. You're just like a machine today.
Okay,
machine.
then. What's up next, Kate?
Well, I want to keep with the colors.
Okay.
And we're going to do a porch pot that coordinates.
Got it.
So here is your elements. And this one is vibrant and fun. And I lay out all these kits for Mom, and she'll tweak them. And I see you've added some extra color to this one to make it a little bit more vibrant and summery. I love how it turned out.
Good deal. Well, I think that the tulips were one of the primary reasons you wanted to make this design.
I did, yeah. Anytime I do a design with tulips, it sells so quickly. So I knew you guys were liking that element added to it. For a little vibrant color, I'll take that out of your way.
Is this sold separately pot also?
Yeah, the pot is sold separately.
Okay.
We'll snap a photo as we do. Switch that together a little bit. And then just pull that pot out of there for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, photo snapped. Whew. I'm tired for you. They're loving everything.
Thanks,
Very
guys.
excited about the combos we have. Kim wants to buy everything. Thank you, Kayla. Yes, she does all of the prep work on the computer side.
Yep, the kits are done by
And
Kayla.
that helps me so much. So I can lay out the kits, Mom
Right.
puts together the kits, and Kayla puts the kits in the system. It is quite the flow.
Takes
So-
a group effort.
Yes, I'm really glad that you are liking all these designs, you guys. But Mom does the hard part where she's live for 4 hours at a time. All right, we ready for the next one?
Yes.
This is the Happy Picking Porch Pot Kit. This kit is very, very vibrant and cheerful, and it is made without foam or pot in the kit price. But if you want to add those, very easy to do. Depends if you're putting it in dirt at home or in a foam container. This kit is only $93 today. Amazing price point. It includes the UV protected pink and white geranium bush, 2 flame poppy sprays, a beauty lantana bush, a blushing Hoya hanging bush, 2 of the beautiful Finding Joy forsythia stems, and the yellow spring Real Touch tulip bundle.
Okay, did you say this one?
No, does that go with that? It does. Must not be listed. I'll check on it.
Okay,
The
got it.
Happy Picking Porch Pot Kit.
All right, so we're going to use the optional pot here. This style of pot, Kate has the name on it.
The Susie pot.
Susie pot, okay. We've got 1 chunk of foam that you can use. There is 2 different ways you could. I'm going to just tell you the best way I think.
That
to
one's
do
not
this.
included.
It's not included. Okay.
Do you want me to add it? You can see at the end.
Sure. No, go
Add
ahead.
it. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a. We're going to maybe say that we're using 3/4 of the brick here. And if I do this right, there we go. I can use my piece at the bottom for a filler and then lay this one right on top with some glue. So we're going to glue one side down to the bottom. And then we're going to lay this piece on its end, and that will come up the right height for me in my planter and give me some nice material here to work with. If you have extra pieces of foam, you could glue some wedges in if you want to ensure that the foam doesn't move within the pot. Sometimes I do that with my scraps just to keep it from, which way did I have that? To keep it from moving and pushing itself out of the way can be a problem. Sometimes when you get a little rough with it and you have tall stems sticking out, that the foam could go moving. Okay, so that one is prepped and ready. There we go. Now our tallest stems are what I'm going to worry about first here.
That addition makes the kit $103.
$103 on our sale price for the kits. Okay, I think it's going to need
I
that
think it'll
extra
need it,
green
yeah.
up in the top. So we're gluing. The thing about the kits that the pot is sold separately in case you would like to just insert the stems into dirt. You certainly can. You want to leave the maximum stem length that you can press in so that they're the most secure in the dirt. And most of these are going to do great outside in the dirt planter and not need extra support. But if you find these tall stems are just getting whipped in the wind, you can always add the dowel or a tree branch and wire it to the back of these to help stabilize these taller stems. If they need some sturdy support, that's what I would do. Okay, we're getting our tall stems up in the back. Notice they're at the back third of the planter. I always work from the back towards the front to make sure my planter has lots of nice dimension. And we do make our porch pots with a front side. We make them have a back. If you need to make it in the round, I'm sure you can modify the design a little bit to accomplish that. Let's get this big geranium. These are sort of self-shaping. You can fan them up or you can trail them down depending how you want them to look. This one's going to go so far in the foam, I'm not even going to glue it because I'm really going to press it down so that the leaves come close to the planter base here and the stem is touching the bottom of the pot. Let me check that here. So some of this is getting caught off of the camera. Let me step back so you can see it. There. And let's place that Hoya at the base in the front. It's going to be a great trailing filler. I'm going to put a dot of glue on it. And he's going in the front third of the pot. So you can see from the side view, we've kind of layered now. Okay, let's get that Hoya dropped around and underneath that geranium. Oh yes, that fills out great, doesn't it? Works perfectly. So I'm going to make sure that these tulips get the right positioning If I am doing this foam design, I'm definitely going to glue them. If these are going into the dirt, you can leave them bundled with their raffia bundle and stick the whole bundle right into the dirt to keep them together. I think you'll have an easier time if they all stay clustered. So we're just going to, let's see, they're going to want to drape over, so we're going to let them go this direction here. I've got my pan glue off camera that we're dipping into. The pan glue ensures a good bond for indoor or outdoor use. It's also a lower temperature, so it's not as dangerous. Wow, that's a little bit harder to put a whole bundle in, but I got it, okay.
Use your muscles.
Using muscles. Then we're doing the lantana off to this side. It's got a nice full little bush here, so it will fill in very nicely. But again, I'm pressing it pretty close to the foam to keep all the leaves close to the foam. That will make it look as full as possible. Okay, let me check how my work's looking. Sometimes you need to sort of pull things around and shape a little bit. Arranging the wired stems is always pretty easy. They are forgiving. Now we're going to let our poppies bring some bright color accent here. Let's get our poppies, let's see, one up here and one out here, I'd say. So we're going to sweep one to the side. I'm going to take a little stem length off. Put him over here. If your pot is larger than this little guy, which is only like 7 by 7, oh my goodness.
That sounded weird.
That is a weird ambulance. This is maybe 7 by 7 inch planter. You can add another ivy bush or something to help fill. If your pot of dirt or your planter is larger, you're probably going to want a little bit more greenery.
Something's happening.
Something's happening. We got sirens, people.
There's not much excitement in Norfolk, Nebraska. So anytime there's an ambulance, we're like, what's happening?
Okay.
Beautiful. I like the addition of orange to it, and I think that just makes it more summery and fun.
The orange does take it from looking too pastel
Yep.
to becoming more of a hot summer look.
Fun. That is so cute. The Happy Picking Porch Pot Kit is $103.
All right, let's try that one out.
Awesome. Okay. How you doing?
It's pretty good. We're almost done, aren't we?
Yes, we are, and that's good because my phone's dying.
Well, we have those 3 over on the wall.
I think we maybe have 20% on my phone battery, so I'm just watching it, and that might be our reason for ending, which is fine because we are approaching maximum effort here. I just wanted to make sure we got these specific ones done that were my favorites.
Okay. Well, we can at least hold up those last
Yeah,
items.
we will. Yep. I'm just going to watch it, and then at some point I'll just make sure that we show them, and then if we don't get time to design them today, we'll design them on Monday. Okay.
Got it.
This one, yep, the basket is sold separately. So I'll do this. Okay. Ready?
All right. Yes.
This is the Nebraska Sunset Wall Basket Kit. Sale price is $40. The basket is sold separately because a lot of you have this basket already, so we wanted to make a design that is perfect for this very specific Tracy rattan wall basket that we have in our online store. This kit includes a jumbo draping amaranthus, a Real Touch hybrid freesia, Real Touch Boston fern, nice limey color, and a wildflower bush. The optional add-on Tracy rattan basket is $29.
29. Okay. Well, this is the pre-made piece that makes it all so easy. This is a drop-in that we would call it. Comes with this fun mix of colors and textures. This does match the wreath that we just designed earlier. So it's kind of a companion piece to a wreath. This is bent here because this is the key piece that we're going to wire everything to, and you can see how nicely it fits into the wall basket. It pops right in there. So leaving the stem itself is actually stabilizing it in the basket. I don't want to remove the stem, but we are in fact just going to add some layers here. So we'll place that fern underneath it. And then our freesia is just going to be cut off. That one we probably cut a good 6 inches off the stem. It sweeps off to the side. And it kind of looks great. It's in 3 sections, so you can kind of get it to sweep one direction. And that seems to have the best look. It's mixing in there, but it is a bright coral. So it has a match to a couple of the tiny flowers in the mixed bundle, but it really amps up the coral color. So I like adding it in there. And then the star of the show here is going to be this amaranthus piece. So I did cut a big chunk of the stem off. And this is also just going to drape out. I have some of it, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's like 3 or 4 sections. And you can see if I hold it open here that the direction of it can kind of sweep the same way as the freesia did. So all of the design sort of has a movement one way. And wiring it up, you could use a bendy vine to wire it together. You could use a piece of wire like I am here. Maybe give it a couple of wraps. It's a lot of big, thick stems. And I'm definitely going to use pliers to tighten that down, get it good and tight. There we go. And again, with another little wrap area here, I've got to ensure that it stays not twisting apart, so it's staying together. Let's see how we did. If you wanted to make this look a little neater at the base, you could use some bendy vine to cover all the wire you just placed. And now we're just going to tuck it in there firmly. And it goes in pretty easy, guys. It's not hard to do at all. It's just the right amount of product to wedge into the basket where it would not have to be glued or wired in place, but you could work some wire over it if you were worried that it was going to come out wherever you had it hanging. So that is the whole design. So easy. It's essentially just a quick and easy basket drop-in.
Beautiful piece. Okay, that was easy, and it goes with all the other things.
It does.
Yes, Pat, you could use this as a drop-in. It essentially is a drop-in. It's just the perfect shape.
And if
for
you use it as the
printer.
drop-in, yeah, it's really pretty hanging over there.
I know.
If you
It's
use it as a
photographed
drop-in,
hanging over here.
just leave all the, yeah, take a look at the picture. Leave all the stem length on it for placement in a vase. That would
So
actually
pretty,
work.
unique basket, Linda said. So cute. Pretty drop-in. Fun.
Okay.
I have the Real Touch Boston Fern bushes. Love them, Terry says.
Good
yeah, they
ones.
are nice.
They are good ones.
They are very nice.
One more hanging basket. What do you
One
think?
more hanging basket. How are we doing? We are doing okay. I'm scared to swipe down and see what my phone's battery is. But, you know, that's what happens.
We're chancing it. If
We're
you lose
chancing
us,
it
it's
right
the battery.
now.
And we can't plug the phone in if you're wondering because the
No.
microphones are in that port.
Naturally. Okay, let's get this one ready to go here.
This one does come with the baskets and the foam, which I have fortunately pre-wired. That would be a time saver.
Yep.
Okay, good deal.
Okay. Drop this one. Oh, and photo.
And photo.
Okay. Snap photo. Got it. Holy smokes, Kim says. we're going quick. All right, ready, Freddie?
Yep.
This is the Summer Sun Hanging Basket Kit. This kit is only $91, and it comes with everything from the basket to the silk florals for an easy, maintenance-free design.
Exactly.
This one is made in our Oxford rigid wire hanging basket with a floral foam block. And we also, in the kit, included floral wire, so you can wire that floral foam down to your hanging basket.
I forgot to glue it, so I just added glue.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we have the English ivy bush, beautiful coated bush. We have 2 flame poppy sprays, 2 pink passion rudbeckia sprays, the stunning white UV protected hydrangea, and a UV protected lace fern.
There we go.
Beautiful kit.
Okay, let's get started. So I think we're going to keep all of the stems intact. We're not going to cut the bushes apart. But you can see from this ivy, it's got a couple of long trailers. So we're going to position and shape the long trailers to be opposite sides. And our second to the longest pieces, stretching those opposite sides. We're going to put this whole stem in the center of our foam, the entire brick of foam. It should be glued and then wired over for extra stability, is what we generally do. And then just to ensure nothing goes anywhere, I'm going to put a dot of glue and pop that first into my basket. And I'm also sinking that all the way down for maximum fullness. The leaves, when they're close to the foam, will help it look the most full that way. And then the second piece that goes in will be the lace fern. We can't overlap, we can overlap them, they're only going to be able to be so close, but I just try to put the two stems virtually right on top of each other. And then you can kind of pull the ivy around through. You could certainly cut this if you needed to. What I'm trying to do here is keep it simple and illustrate kind of a cheater way to do it. So hopefully that is making it easier by not cutting any of the stems. Let me hold that up and show you. They mix pretty well, and we have to come back and shape this extra straight ivy. It's too straight. Next up, let's put in the hydrangea. This has nice long sections, which is going to be helpful because look how easily this is going to shape in the round. Let's let two of them go up, and let's let the other four be down. And that makes a nice balanced shape. We're going to find a spot near the center and pop that over top of everything. And then just kind of lifting some of the ferns up and moving my hydrangeas under the fern fronds, under the ivy a little bit to help position it and blend it in. We don't want all that fern to be smashed. We need some of it to help fill up around all of the gaps between the hydrangea. There we go. Okay. Now you can see this ivy is bugging me. It's too straight and stiff. We got to give it some curves and dips. So we're going to drop it over the side by bending it and working the shape a little bit here. That will help it look more realistic because your ivy is definitely going to fall with gravity over the side of the pot. So that's what we want to emulate with the shape. And then you have the 2 and 2 stem sections here. They are cut, so we've got the rudbeckia with the stems cut pretty short, and we're going to cut this poppy off pretty short. They're basically going to be in a quadrant, 2 and 2, and 2 and 2, like so. So once you see that they're just going to go opposite each other, you can get some glue on those stem ends and pop them right into the foam. That will add our strong dose of color. And it depends how much you want them to hang out or be tucked in. The stem length will determine that. They're moderately hanging out here. I think that is pretty showy in a hanging basket. To have lots of things spiking out of it always looks pretty dynamic. If it gets too tightly done, it looks pretty compact. This maybe looks more natural. Lots of fun color today.
Color is, necessary in summer designs and also just needed. If you are in the coastal areas, we're jealous because in the winter in Nebraska, everything is dead and gray.
Exactly.
So as soon as spring
color
hits, we put a lot of color indoors and outdoors because it is needed around here.
That it is. Okay, I think we got it. So all that would be left to do would be to clip on the little hanger. Easy to do. There's slots in the metal of the basket where they go, and spinning that around. Take a good look.
Wow. You
There
make
we
that
have it.
so simple. Beautiful. Okay. Now my phone is officially at less than 10%. So we won't be able to design the rest, so we're going to show the rest. And we will design them maybe on Monday.
Okay.
I can just take that if you want.
Monday Live Design Day.
Yes. So we'll show them off. We won't be able to make the tutorials today, but we will make the tutorials next week. So that way, if you purchase these kits on sale, you can definitely make this. This is the Daydreaming Wreath Kit. Sale price is $74. It's only a 3-piece kit with a featherfew bush, a summer sunshine wreath, and a willow branch. We have the
Super
optional
easy.
bows shown.
Just trying to see if I could disassemble it, but I spiraled up the willow branch that we had designed in an earlier item. Instead of cutting this one apart, the end is spiraled up and it's hooked around. It lays in asymmetrically on one side of the wreath, and then behind it is the green fern bush fanned open, so it lays up, down, out, side to side, and then that, if it has a recommended bow,
Yes, there's a few.
can be featured our bright hot pink bow or any
And
of
we're
our
going to
corally
design this
bows.
on Monday, Mom. So
There we go.
We'll just give them a little.
Okay, and then the garland that coordinates with it is the same featherfew garland, the same willow branch that comes in garland form. So it is simply 3 garlands that are laid together and incorporated. So not a hard one to put together at all. If you get the kit, you're getting 3 garlands. You simply lay them together and twist them together, and it looks amazing. That one looks like it's on sale for $128. So it's
Yes.
a really showy garland for the money.
And then this is the Mellow Day swag kit on sale for $51. I absolutely love the way this kit came out. Very easy to do, but beautifully balanced.
So this is going to have 2 branches of the peachy background item laid end to end, and then 2 of the cherry blossom stems laid end to end, topped with 2 peonies tucked in end to end, all wired together to create a really large full tray swag, table swag, or you could actually fasten a hanger and hang it up also.
Beautiful.
See if that would be a fun item.
Whew, we did
All
it.
coordinating.
You did it. It only took a week and a half of prep work and a fun day with you guys. Thank you for hanging
That's
out
a
with
lot.
us. We are going to finish these last 3 designs on Monday, so you have something to
Okay.
look forward to. But the DIY weekend sale ends Sunday night. So make sure you score your DIY kits, A, before they sell out, and B, before the sale ends
By
on those
April
every day.
27th. Okay.
And please shop and take advantage of the vase and planter sale, because these only go on sale for DIY weekend. So vases, planters are all on sale, 15% off. And our everyday kits are on sale, 15% off. Everyday ribbon is 15%
Everyday
off.
greenery stems.
And everyday stems, yes, which I saw a lot of people taking advantage of this morning.
best time
It's
to
a
buy
really
greenery.
good time to buy greenery or real touch stems. You have to, I always say, it's easy to pick out the flower stems, but don't forget the greenery, because you need not so much. You'll tell every single kit we have greenery, and it's really important for your DIY creations. And if you are looking for outdoor safe ones in the STEM category, just filter by outdoor safe.
That'll work.
If you're looking for UV Protect specifically because you have it in full sun, just search UV on the website, magnoliasne.com. So, whew, how do you feel?
All right, I'm ready for some lunch.
Ready for some lunch? We're going to get ready for Grandpa's birthday party tomorrow, get some stuff prepped.
Lots
and
going on
we
this
thank you guys
weekend.
for your orders. Thank you guys for supporting us. We appreciate you more than you know. And we're going to
do.
have a great weekend sending out these beautiful kits.
So fun, everybody. Thanks so much for having me in your home today. Bye-bye.